again. Bam.
I put the. Well, first of all, how's my audio? Is it garbage?
Garbage is strong.
Okay.
Not,
well, okay.
not good. Oh yeah, it's garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. Andrew Hiller, your audio is. No, it's garbage. You got like a. Yeah, and you're breaking up. No.
I changed it. God damn it.
Oh, okay. Okay. How's that? That might be better.
Yeah, I changed it. I hope.
What was it? Tell me what's going on. It's just a little.
It was connected to the camera. So it's still a tin can?
Yeah, a little bit. Go back to the camera. Can I hear my choices again?
Yes, you may.
Wow, what's this background? Hey, I got to listen on my drive to work instead of wasting time at work. What is this background? Did you change it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh.
This is A, by the way. This is sound A.
Okay, sound A. I wonder if I pull down these comments if you can see our. Look,
Gold
we don't have
member.
Instagram account. We don't have it. We don't have Instagram accounts. Holy shit, LL Cool J, you're not till next week. LL, I'm bad.
Something really degrading in the chat.
You saw something really degrading? Oh, that one's good. That one's good. It's covering BIRTHFIT. It's covering BIRTHFIT, but that's okay.
I mean,
yeah, that's good.
Someone hacked into our feed and wrote something. Somebody hacked into our feed and wrote something about Hiller.
What did they say?
It says right here, I heard Hiller has a chode. I didn't write it though. Honestly, I was just an observer.
Where do you see that? Where do you see that?
Doesn't everyone have a chode? Dude. Doesn't everyone have a chode?
Nah, dude. Not this boy.
I am a chode.
Isn't the chode the space between your
No, that's a grundle. That's a gooch, a grundle.
Dude, I can check the Urban Dictionary. You can't lie to me.
Chode is like a brick dick. It's like a kind of like a chubby short penis.
It's like a little bratwurst thing.
Are you trying to big dog me right now by not wearing your shirt? Because I'll fuck you up.
Gold member.
Wow. I didn't. Dude, I just heard.
This right here is real gold.
Is that what you won for riding a 10-mile race with some wall balls in it?
No fucking big deal, dude. They hand these things out. They hand these things out to the ones who win them.
Pull it back up. You're all big and shit now.
I'm trying. Oh, here. Dude, this is incredible. A chode in the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, is a penis, especially when characterized as being short and thick. But here, so like a tuna can penis.
Dude,
that's what I said, man.
Your boy's educated. All right.
You did say that? You said tuna can?
I think I said bratwurst, but
okay.
Bratwurst is a longer.
My penis is shaped more like one of those 32-ounce cans of Boston baked beans. You know,
that's
industrial size. No,
that's not for her pleasure.
I'm talking 12 inches, 6 inches like 6 inches across.
It looks like this thing.
Yeah, basically.
Like, good luck. You're gonna kill someone.
No big deal. What you guys been up to?
Hey, how do you like this comment?
Hiller makes Hunter look like a child.
Dude, Hiller is an influencer. He's got a filter on right now. Get fucked.
No, here's the thing, though, guys. Is Hunter probably is, I don't know, 15 pounds on me minimum, and he's also got 3 inches on me. So in this conversation, I am, yes, it showed.
Yeah,
but let me just say it also. The second definition is perineum.
How much muscle mass have you gained since you got on the juice?
He is not on the juice. Quit saying that about him.
I am on the juice, dude.
Oh.
What do you mean?
You are in.
This is the big connotation between being on TRT and steroids is that there really isn't one. I mean, once the second you inject something, you're on steroids, and everyone goes, "No, I'm just on TRT." It's like, dude, shut up. You're on stuff. And the answer to the question's about 10 pounds of muscle, I'd say.
Jesus Christ.
Hiller, would you take Hiller? What's the LL Cool J? Would you take BPC 157?
Has your sex life gotten better or worse?
More.
But that's not really. That's not like a spectrum there. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's too much.
What's your personal sex life like? Do you now look in the mirror? Do you look in the mirror when you masturbate? Is that a side effect of what's going on?
Dude,
No.
that is an astute
I don't
observation. That's a great question.
I'm here to dig into the deeper
myself
side of
off
the
from that
question.
probably 3 months ago.
You mean you
Like,
removed all the
more.
mirrors from your house?
I could. I had to get rid of those because it made me start masturbating.
Did you really stop masturbating 3 months ago?
Yeah.
You don't take the poison out anymore.
I don't really know if it does much. It just makes Alexis in more danger more frequently.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you just like taking all your sexual tension out on no-bull shows and on your barbecue?
You know what's nuts is I have all these shoes from I did the Nopin, my online competition. I had 800 or so people sign up, and I'm getting all these emails like, where is the free prize? And I go, it's in my living room. I've been out of town for a month. I have this big ass box full of no-bull shoes that I'm shipping to all these people. But they're just shoes.
You had 800 people sign up?
833.
Are you an affiliate of No-Bull now?
No. But I have I got some shoes from somebody, and they're just No-Bull shoes to give out to some people who signed up for the competition, and I just have to ship them to these people.
Rumor on the street,
I should bring this box out here.
No-Bull is slipping right now. I heard their ice
Can
melting
you give me
pretty
2
fast.
seconds? The box is kind of funny. I should show it to you.
Go get them.
I'll be right back.
No, don't leave me alone with
Fuck.
Hunter.
This is gonna be awkward.
Look
at
Manny
that gamer
Spiegel.
chair.
Hiller was pounding Sevan last week. Why?
Dude, your fans are harsh on you.
Why?
My fans don't do that.
Christine Young, do you finish way before her since starting on TRT asking for a friend? Oh, so does that mean her husband got on TRT and he's just two pump jumping her? Is that?
I think once you get up to that aggravated level of testosterone, you don't have time to make love. You only have time to make war.
Can I ask you a crazy personal question?
What do you want to know? If I were you, I'd take those things to Goodwill as fast as possible.
Do you ever?
No, I'm sure it's the people.
No one's watching because it's so fucking early. So I want to ask you guys a really fucking personal question. This is a question I've never asked on the show before.
What's going on?
Do you ever have? Can you hear me, Hiller?
Yeah.
Do you ever have sex that's like 30 minutes long, but it's only 2 pumps at a time every like 40 seconds because you're trying to fucking, you're holding on for fucking dear life? Just,
you mean that like that bonding sex where you just like, you gotta switch to kissing for a while because you know at any time?
No. I mean, you put it in and it's just like, oh, it's ready to go. But you're trying to hold off and it ends up being just 30 minutes of 2 pumps.
You're edging the whole time.
Yeah, you're taking like 5 deep breaths. And finally, after, I don't know, feels like an hour, but it's probably like 15 to 30 minutes of that. You're like, hey, I'm fucked. We're fucked. Well, you're fucked.
You know what? There's an ebbs and flows to it. I'm going to give the ultimate promotion for California hormones right now.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
You have topical cream, don't you?
The longest I've ever lasted was probably about 3 or 4 months into starting TRT.
Wow.
Which isn't anything absurd, but like it wasn't the 1 or 2 pumps every 40 seconds. It was like,
give us a time window.
Wow.
How long?
Yeah.
It was nothing less than 10 minutes, which is like a land speed record for me.
Wow. Less than 10 minutes?
Hey, 10 minutes of drilling is 10 minutes of drilling is.
I always get confused by my friends that tell me that they've been having sex for hours. I'm like, doing what? I would say 15 to 20 minutes into having sex, my penis hurts.
Hey, dude, those are people.
How about the chick, dude?
Is this Zorro? Like, who is this masked lover that's just such a magician of just keeping things so fluid and fantastic for? I mean, who's got the stamina and the time?
It's for people who eat ass. If you eat ass, if you're into things like that, it starts going into the past the 60-minute realm.
Around 2020, the women in my life started to want to play with my butt. It was a huge change. There was nothing like that until 2020, and I don't know what happened. Like some meme spread across the internet, and then girls were just going into the gutter. And I don't like it at all. I feel very vulnerable down there. Like, this is an honest man having an honest conversation with my close friends. No one can hear us talking right now.
I don't let anyone touch the Cheerio.
No, dude, that's a tight spot, dude. That's my last chakra. That's my brown eye.
I don't even let anyone touch anything like beyond where the balls attach on the bottom. Nothing. I don't even want I don't want my balls touched either. I mean, I don't want them touched.
No,
when you say you don't let anyone, you say that as if it was like present day, but you should have said, I have never lit anyone. Right?
There's been an accident. There's been an accident or two.
Way to make this really tough on Sevan right now. Why you gotta
I know. I'm big on listening to words.
So are you gonna like experiment with the juice? Like, where are you going with the juice right now?
Well, we're doing the peptide thing pretty soon.
Wait, Hiller, can I answer that real quick? Hunter, he put too much in him.
Oh yeah, I made a video on that. Yeah.
Look at him. Look at him. He's the fucking liver king.
If you study any of the way that like pro bodybuilders work, they actually just spend time on lower doses for longer periods of time, and they just try to incrementally gain muscle mass. It's those like teenagers that get a hold of this stuff that just like gas up really quick, that end up peaking too quickly, and then they fuck up their bodies, and then they go back into the trench. And I don't know if you guys have seen all these articles coming out about what is it, Gordon Ryan, the guy who's the and everybody's saying he basically did like the Evel Knievel. He overshot the ramp, and now he's all fucked up, and people are assuming that he's gonna crash and burn because of it. I don't know.
Hunter, hold that. Burn, dude. You guys hold that thought. I just want to show you one thing really quick, because I really want to talk about Gordon Ryan.
Tell me this.
I sent this to Hiller. This is the kind of stupid pet tricks I'd like to see Hiller start doing now that his body looks like that. That's exactly what Hiller would look like if he did that move. Identical.
Dude, you know those like Czech Republic bar star kids are the fucking biggest freaks on the planet.
Yeah, I agree.
They have is like war around them and pull-up bars.
Okay, where did you hear this stuff about Gordon Ryan? Because I saw
here. I'll try to forward you the post right now.
6% body fat looks like for anyone who says they're 6% body fat.
So I got.
You're talking about this right here, Hunter, right?
I went on a flight flying to Dubai, and he actually boarded the same flight as me. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a pretty tough dude, and like when I see other people, I size them up. I'm like, I could fuck that dude up. He was noticeably tougher looking than I was. He was probably about around the same height. This guy, more plates, more dates, made the
Yeah.
This guy, more plates, more dates, is actually a pretty cool content creator. Like I appreciate his intelligent. Like, dude, come on. When you see a body like this go to a body like the other image that we were showing, like it's so enhanced. Like, you can't.
Well, dude, he got really sick too. You saw that?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like you can get sick, but I get sick.
He's got poop issues. He's had them forever. Something's wrong with his stomach.
You know who else looks like one of that? If you, dude, I don't know if I should say this.
Come on, let's hear it, bitch. No hold back.
Should I write in the chat?
Yeah.
Hit in the private chat and then we'll all vote.
So where did you see that he took too much juice and pushed him out like?
Well, that was the thing I just showed you. They're showing you a comparison, like that more plates, more dates. And it's like, there's a couple like Instagram, like, pages that are referring to the fact that this guy just basically, he went past his body's capabilities to handle these hormones. You can't.
Is that why he's saying he's sick, Hunter?
Listen, I don't know the guy. I'm not a hater, but often if you think about it, like when you push your body to the edge, like you're going to have kickbacks. Your body can't handle it.
Click on more plates, more dates right there. Click on that little link in his description. Yeah, go to his profile. I'm sure he's got it.
The thing is that I don't think Gordon's issues are steroid related. He's had these issues fucking forever.
Maybe.
And then if you go to the top right, you can see it right there.
Oh, okay.
Down a little bit. There you go. There's the picture.
Okay, here we go.
Let's pulled up.
It doesn't rob you of your physique. Not being on cycle does. LOL. Bro came off the GH test too. On and off cycle. Damn, I knew he was juicing, but I didn't know he was juicing. Crying, laughing. This is not a transformation of muscle gain, but muscle loss this time. Gordon Ryan, he has gone from, a relatively skinny guy to getting yoked.
He's not relatively skinny. Well, he's thin. I wouldn't say skinny.
out of his goddamn tree, and then now going from yoked out of his goddamn tree to back to baseline seemingly. He is now looking like a regular athletic Joe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like that.
What would you call that?
I would call that regular athletic Joe.
Yeah, dude. He's an average
A lot of
body.
people are saying he
For an athlete.
Have you guys ever heard of the Colorado experiment
lost
with
all his game, but
Casey
here he is.
Viator?
What's that?
One more time.
Look up the Colorado experiment with Casey Viator.
Okay, let me listen to the rest of this. I want to see this I want to hear this real quick.
In the before looking like Hercules, and here he is in the after looking like an average guy that goes to the gym sometimes. His dried blood coming out of his nose, physique has no apparent like muscle separation, looking depressed and miserable. He is not in a good spot, and the situation is actually very, very unfortunate, but people are quick to jump on this guy given how much trash talk he has done over the years. People are basically just saying to suck it up and get over it, and this is what happens when you get off gear. Like, some of the comments are wild, dude. A health crisis doesn't
He even writes on here his unique health issues are not a result of hormone use either. That's what More Plates More Dates is saying.
I'd say
you know that when you take certain kinds of products, it's enhancing all aspects of your body. So it accelerates things that are going to be good and accelerates things that are going to be bad.
Like cancer.
I don't know what's specifically going on with him, but you got to be careful when you take these things that are going past your body's means of organically or naturally, handling its own rhythm versus enhancing its rhythm to get super freakish.
I want to say what happened to him, though, happened years ago, and it's a common thing with people who it's not steroids he abused, it's antibiotics.
Oh, he did that too. I heard about that. But it wasn't an abuse of. He has some sort of a reaction to them.
Right. I'm being a little flippant. I'm being a little by abuse I just mean that something happened to him. He took so many he basically took the IV bag full of fucking antibiotics where it's plugged into you through a stint or a stem for a month, and that a lot of people who do that end up having gut issues their whole fucking life.
Dude, type in Kevin Lerone.
Oh, what this guy says, you're on the right track, meaning you think it's a combination of things, Hunter?
I just think that you enhance one thing, you're enhancing all things. Your pendulum swings both ways. You're like, I want to gain muscle and get really strong, and then all of a sudden it swings like the opposite direction. You're like, all my problems are getting worse.
So basically, like someone who takes steroids, if you have cancer, you'll start getting it'll cause the cancer to spread, like get worse.
Look up Kevin Lerone nowadays versus Kevin Lerone peak performance, and you'll see the same exact thing. That guy was probably one of the most impressive bodybuilders of all time, and now if you look at pictures of him when he's off the sauce, it's an identical comparison between the two of those guys.
I see Kevin Levine, Kevin Lerone. Let
me type this in.
Oh, I see him. I got him. American bodybuilder. Okay.
Dude's a freak.
Where I should go.
Bridge off what Hunter just said right there and being on the right track. And Sevan, I know you'll love this. If you've got mental health issues and you jump on anything, you're boned. You're going to go down the toilet so quick. Your mental health issues just go through the roof.
Oh, you and I were just talking about someone that we were concerned about that with, right?
Right.
Yeah, dude. Look at him back in the day, dude. Those pictures are so. He was a gangster, dude. I think he had the greatest arms in bodybuilding. And then if you look at him when he got off the sauce, it's almost like a identical comparison to the dude we were just looking at.
This one on the left is off the sauce.
Yeah. I think like people are saying this, like, look at such and such, Frazier when he was competing versus when he was not. Like,
yeah, but Frazier is natural.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not bringing him into the conversation. But, dude, I go in and out of season pretty hardcore, and my body doesn't change really that much. If you naturally are designed a certain way, your body ain't going to change much. You might get a little bit more body fat. Like, I've been drinking for 2 weeks straight, and I look like a fucking god right now.
Sevan
Stand up. Let's see that belly. I want to see the abs.
Oh, you're still skinny.
It's all that Hyrox and yeah, you look good. I like how you're getting the angle on yourself. One second.
Huller. That's Hunter and Huller. If they're one person, Hunter, he can't hear us, right?
Look at that. At the
Hey.
side.
Hey, Hunter. No, we can't hear you. We lost you. Are you muted? No, we lost you. You pulled the plugs out of the computer or something. Hey, what's today?
Can't hear you.
Today's June 9th.
Today is Friday.
So on May 26th, I think Hunter won the Hyrox World Champion. So that's 9. That is 2 weeks ago. That's 14 days ago.
Right?
It's fucking crazy. Are we going to talk about that? I really want to know about that.
What you want to know about, Daddy?
How you like that,
Fraser always leaned out, but he was not jacked like Hiller.
I hope
some people just aren't predisposed to have that lean of a body.
Froning was. That's why he's the greatest of all time.
The GOAT. Oh shit! I just broke this table.
Anita dicking me. Oh, that sounded like a drum sound effect. Anita dicking me. Hunter is a sex symbol. I agree. Totally agree.
And I'm cool with that. If I have to bear that cross, I'm cool with that, guys.
Hey,
Hunter, how many people do you know who have used testosterone, steroids, anything? I'm sure a handful.
In professional sport,
or maybe even just closely, personally, where you'll see them on a once a week basis.
A lot in that category, Hiller. Can he count you?
A lot of dudes. Like I was pretty bummed. I don't think so. I was in LA.
I talk to Hunter once every 3 weeks.
Okay.
I talked to I was down in like this place called Air One. It's a fancy place where people with like lots of money and are very like health conscious hang out. And I met up with one of my really good buddies there, and he had this guy hanging out with him who was like a young beacon of health, like very good looking, handsome, muscular dude. And I'm not going to bring up details about him because it'd be unfair, but we start talking and he promotes like supplements and he promotes like training, all this kind of stuff. But then he tells me he's on this like peptide regime and all these kind of things. And I was like, dude, that's so much of the fitness industry that I know in LA, where these people are training and telling you like how to get healthier and better. But it's like, I don't know. Like it's very clearly their style of training and stuff is so like you're looking up to something that's unattainable through natural training. And you're pretending that like, this is the way that I eat. This is the way that I act, all these kind of things. And if you follow my plan, you can live like this and look like this. But secretly they're gassed up. And like, that's half of LA. I know a lot of girls. What's that?
Tale as old as time though, right?
I don't give a shit, but like those are the people that I know. And it's like, you know, whatever. That's the fitness.
I was going to ask you more or less if you saw the inner mechanisms of their mind and how it was affected, potentially for the better or for the worse. Because I was going to say how I mentioned and we spoke of somebody we know that maybe isn't doing so hot mentally, but then I also know people who have been much better. So like if you started using stuff, I'd only assume that you're going to be a bigger version of yourself. Crazier, cooler, happier, hornier, all that stuff.
I take on the world probably. I'd probably buy a Lamborghini right away, and I'd take over the world just a little bit faster.
I knew a guy who was suicidal, and he got on TRT, and it went away.
It does, yeah. It can do it. It can do both.
Well, do you want to know one of the biggest side factors of taking a drug like that is confidence. Like if you all of a sudden go from being kind of like a beta boy and just having like a very like low level of testosterone, low level of perception of yourself, low level of muscle mass. Let me tell you, dude, if you start looking good and feeling good, you're immediately going to project that you are good. You know what I mean? Like if I put on 5 pounds of more muscle and I lose a little bit of body fat, fucking A, you're going to hear about it. And I'm going to feel good about it. How much you weigh now? 95? 205.
Oh, you put on a weight.
Yeah, dude. So when I was peaking and I was trying to peak, I popped and I kind of like overtrained myself in April. And then I had to come back down and I gained the weight. Like I can show you pictures of myself that I was at like 196 and I was like, I'm a fucking god, but I overtrained and I kind of wrecked myself. And that's common.
Can I ask you some questions about Hyrox before we get too far?
Yeah, let's do this, baby.
You competed on May 26th?
May 26th is the day.
And where was the World Championships?
Manchester, United Kingdom.
And did you have any doubt that you were going to win?
No.
Were there people there who thought they were going to win?
No.
Oh, really?
I mean, they probably said to people that they thought that they were going to win, but they didn't believe it.
And you don't think they believed it?
No.
And what was your time?
56 minutes, but I was 48 seconds ahead of the world record by halfway through, and then I pulled back. I couldn't hold the intensity.
56 minutes flat.
By station 4, I had 2 minute and 43-second lead. So halfway through the race, and then I ended up finishing with like 55 seconds of a lead.
56 minutes flat.
56:40.
Hey, that's pretty amazing that the guy closed in on you, because being 2 minutes and 40 seconds ahead must have really hurt his feelings. That's like making a statement, right?
Ronkovic is a good dude. Ronkovic is a really good dude. Austrian. Vienna is Austria.
And what so where was it again? Say, where were you competing again? Berlin?
Manchester.
Oh, Manchester. Manchester.
It was a beautiful venue. It's the Olympia Center there, and it's like this ancient building, all brick, all glass, like floor to ceiling windows looking out over the entire city. It was awesome. I mean, the level of production and the amount of athletes that showed up, and also the amount of spectators that show up, was about 3x the size of what it was last year in Vegas.
Wow. What time did you start? Did you start competing in the evening?
I competed at 8:15
at night.
Yeah, it's rugged.
Holy shit! And then afterwards, you won as soon as you cross the finish line. You won. There's no way that someone can be like, "Hey, he didn't do this," or there can be protests, or
you can. But I had enough of a lead that almost any protest wouldn't have mattered.
And did anyone make any protests against you?
No.
Okay.
I didn't fuck anything up.
Okay. No one was like, "Hey, he cheated this," or "They shorted this," or nothing like that.
Mm-mm.
And then when you're done, do you take pictures with people and sign autographs and shit like that?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it really like that?
It's crazy. I'll probably take about 500 plus pictures throughout the weekend. And I didn't expect it to be like this. When I dropped out last year, I was like, I'm over it. This year, I'm like, wow, this is a noticeable difference.
I wish you wouldn't interject when I'm in a deep interview, but when's the last time you had a Costco hot dog, Hunter?
Dude, I haven't been to Costco in about 1.5 years, but when I do go to Costco, I get the pizza and I get the dogs and the ice cream.
Is it because it's cheap? You feel obligated?
No, I mean, like, I'm a Black Card member, okay, dude? I'm an executive club member, and I'm going to use all the perks.
Hell
which
yeah.
includes the food.
I love Costco.
And so you win that, and then what happens? Do you leave the next day? Do you leave Manchester the next day?
No, because then the open field competes the following day. So I supported all my friends and we just had a good time. We basically did not stop drinking until like 2 days ago.
Wow, this is crazy. You have the world's fastest time, the second world's fastest time, and the fifth world's fastest time. Hey, and the course. What, I don't even know if this is a fair question, so slap me around if it's not, but was it a fast course?
No, it was 4 laps. More laps, more opportunities you have just to screw up because there's more turns. But it was a great event. I don't really ever pay attention to the courses. It's horses, not courses. Like, I think, when you say somebody set a world record somewhere in our sport, like, it's cool, but in reality, like, I've had people take my record and then I race against them a month later and I beat them by 6 minutes.
Who's this guy? Tim Wishnick.
Tim Winish. He's a really fast, good kid. He ended up.
So he's under. Is that under 24 right here? U24.
He must be. Yeah.
What did you just put in your mouth?
Chewing tobacco.
Me?
Yeah, you, Hiller. Sorry, I didn't mean you, Hunter. What did you just put in your butt? No, what did you just put in your butt, Hiller?
Chewing tobacco. You can put tobacco in your ass and you'll get pretty high.
I would guess.
Have you guys ever heard of Hape? No. It's spelt rape, but it's like a version of tobacco where somebody takes a pipe and sticks it into your nose and blows it really hard up into your nasal cavity, like into your skull.
Oh, dear
and
Lord.
You get high as a kite.
Have you done that?
Unfortunately, yes.
It sounds so painful.
Yeah, I was like completely tricked by some of these debaucherous people in New York City, and then they put that stuff in my nose and I lost my mind and I ran out of the apartment into the streets and never went back.
I'm looking to see if I can find a quick video of it. It's tough. Hey. Rape's a tough word to put into Google and get the results you want.
Type in rape tobacco product.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how come all these people are 30 to 34? Where's the youngins? Where's the Justin Medeiros and the Mal O'Briens of the world taking the Hyrox scene by storm?
I just think it takes a certain amount of time to be able to acquire that level of endurance. And, you know, you'll notice in most world championship level endurance sports, it's not the young guys that are whooping ass. It's usually the people in the late 20s to mid 30s that are killing it.
Hey, dude, this thing where someone blows into your nose is so unnecessary.
Yeah, but you gotta get way up there, dude, if you want to get that high.
Yeah, you could do it to yourself. God. Oh, man.
I probably don't even know what that's like. I couldn't imagine.
Have you done any substances in your entire life?
I remember the first time I smoked weed. I was like, this is what all you guys have been doing for this long? I was 28, I believe. The first time I ever tried that stuff.
What'd you do?
Just weed, pot, whatever you call it, marijuana. That stuff.
Something crazy. I went to Amsterdam with a friend of mine, and I was like, we're going for 24 hours and we're going to get lit. It was his 40th birthday. I just took him after the championships. We have about 6 to 8 beers on the train. We get off the train. We get to Amsterdam. We drop our bags in our hotel. We go have like a little bit of steak, and then we have 2 drinks there. We then eat things that will enhance your experience of Amsterdam.
Oh, mushrooms.
There you go. We then go and we're drinking. We're now into like the 13th, 14th drink. And now we ended up like 20 plus drinks. I don't smoke weed. I went and got a joint and I was hitting that. Everything.
Wow.
I could not. I never popped. I never got that drunk. I never got that high. Nothing. I woke up the next day completely sober. And I can't tell if they're like selling phony substances there, but I didn't get anything out of it.
Wow.
I really wanted that like crazy Amsterdam experience. Didn't hit.
Wow.
I would be worried that there's something wrong with me.
How many times have you done mushrooms, Hiller or Hunter?
Probably 200.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Well, you know.
Is it awesome?
It's incredible. So
I'll
explain to you guys. I tried it a couple times when I was younger, and then I went to rehab, and I found out in rehab the only thing that I couldn't be tested for was acid and mushrooms. So I would go to these parties, and everyone's just getting all fucked up, and I was like, well, I don't want to be the only sober kid here. Like, I want the college experience. Now I completely put to the side the fact that I was in rehab, and so I just started eating mushrooms all the time, and I would have mushrooms 3, 4, 5 times a week. And it really taught me a lot about myself, like very early on, because you're going into this like deeper level of awareness. And then you have to like find a way to handle that subconscious and then try to align yourself with everybody else in the room. And sometimes I went way too far and, you know, it didn't work out. But, you know, I had to have done it well over 100 times just in that year. And then ever since then, I probably do it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 times a year.
That was a great articulation of what it's like being on it.
It's interesting. I mean, the one thing that I'll tell you about mushrooms, and I don't think it should be like, you know, whatever. People can have their own opinions of this. But the one thing that I've recognized that's so sad with the world these days is that people have just forgotten how to enjoy themselves. Like, have you ever taken a kid to a park and the way that they like run over to it and pick up a rock and are amazed by it? They look at the grass, they look at the trees, they look at anything and they pull joy out of it.
Right.
I could put you in a Ferrari with 5 iPhones and naked women all over the place, and your dopamine levels will just be basically like this. Children are literally on a mental trampoline all the time. And when you take mushrooms, you go back to that place and you realize how cool life is. And like, I have to do that often to remind myself, like, hey, life's fucking awesome. And being outside in these trees is awesome. And like, you sit down and you enjoy a carpet.
Yeah, get yourself one of these, dude.
I don't know what the hell that's all about. I saw that and the price tag on it for $3,500.
That's how much that is?
Yeah, they dropped that info and like the whole crowd started laughing openly.
Oh, it did?
This is how you get those dopamine receptors kicked back in. It's either this or mushrooms.
God, $3,500 for version 1. Hey, Hunter, what about this? So I went to Newport Beach for a couple weeks. I don't know, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And there was a guy there working. Remember that restaurant we went to where the rats were crawling on the walls?
Dude, I was telling that story last night.
Yeah, crazy, right? So So there was a guy who worked there. You probably don't remember him, but I saw him there every morning, and he was a fucking asshole, dude. He was just like, he couldn't be bothered. Like, you'd go order your coffee in the morning, and he would just be like, you didn't even know if he was hearing your order. You didn't know shit. He refused to talk, and he worked at both of those restaurants next to each other. He worked at the one where the two, it was like the Mexican place, and then the place that was kind of like with that wharf design inside.
Not Dory's.
Oh, Dory's, and then the place to the left of the Mexican place.
Dory's Deli? Are you kidding?
No, I forgot the name, dude. I'm barely awake. I'm hurting, and this is all for you, Hunter. Getting up this early, and Hunter. Oh, yeah. So the guy was a complete fucking asshole, and every time I went there, so I'd been there 3 times, like 4 months apart. He's always an asshole. And I watched him. He was an asshole to everyone. Like, basically, he seemed. And at the time, I didn't know, but in hindsight, I'm like, wow, this guy. I should have known. He's like depressed and suicidal. Okay, so this last time I went there with Hiller, he was the nicest fucking guy ever. Like, when I would walk by, he would come out and be like, hi, how are you? And like, he would say hi to my kids. And he was always like this now.
Did you ask him what's up?
No, but someone we were with goes, hey, that's microdosing. I go, what do you mean? He goes, that's just a total common effect. He's microdosing now.
They're showing the, like, I think
what do you think? I agree.
Hopkins just did a 5-year study on this where they're basically showing that, like, pharmaceutical drugs are useless in the comparison of what proper dosing of psychedelics can do to you.
Well, dude, there are a shitload of studies now coming out that basically in revealing of old studies that antidepressants do absolutely fucking nothing. They're actually they actually you have a better chance of killing yourself.
Same with booze. It's so crazy to me that people are able to have booze on such a high level, and you look at these organic substances, and I don't mind booze at all, but it's so normalized that people can drink a 6-pack, 10, 12, 20 drinks a night and wake up and throw up in a toilet. And like, everyone's like, what a cool night. And I'm like, well, then why are these things looked at like so poorly? There's not a ton of therapeutic use, I think, for booze, other than just like kicking back and relaxing, which is cool. I use it for that reason. But I'd say that you have a much better opportunity with the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And I'm not suggesting everybody do it, but if you're open to it and you've got a good experience and you got good people around you that are willing to, teach you how to do it, it's going to be legal within the next decade, and you're going to notice how much it's going to change the world for a better place.
It's already legal, isn't it? Can't you just go to Colorado and do mushrooms now? Or?
You can get it in Colorado. It's decriminalized, and it depends on where you go. But I mean, in LA, where I live, it's such a normal thing that everybody's got it basically in their pocket. You go to a party and you're like, "Do you want some?" It's definitely. Sometimes you have to really understand how to use it, because sometimes you can overshoot, which I told you about earlier, but it's awesome.
I thought it was this, actually. Jay Hartle says the guy probably got laid. I actually thought that at first, because I had a friend in college who was just an asshole for 2 years, and he got a girlfriend. And he was a totally different guy. But this guy had a permagrin, like that. Like
it's kind of like that movie Smile. It freaks you out a little bit.
The what? Say it again.
I know you haven't seen the movie Smile. It's pretty new, but it's pretty good. It's one of the best.
Is that the one where they're like chasing you down, everyone's smiling in the crowd and stuff like that?
And it freaks them out. Oh yeah, it's crazy good.
I don't like
microdosing is great for TBI. What's that?
Tuberculosis.
TBI.
Google.
Tommy Rodriguez, 100% psychedelics are amazing. Ibogaine and other psychedelics transform my life.
Did I tell you I know this guy?
You guys best friends?
He was a member of my affiliate.
Oh.
Is Hiller Fit an affiliate?
No.
What were you doing at Castro's Ranch?
I did the street parking thing. I just put up a video on that today. And then I did the broken science thing the following weekend. Stayed with Sevan in the interim.
What's the street parking thing?
Fitness Freedom. They had an event last year. It's kind of an in-house. They sign up and people from around the world come and hang out and see what it's all about and get to know one another. 2-day event, a handful of workouts.
That's positive.
Kind of a meet up. It's cool. It's awesome.
I feel like Dave Castro has come off his high horse and has become a better person because of it. No offense to you, Dave. He just seems like he's now becoming more. What's that?
I think you're assuming that there was a high horse.
Oh, come on, dude. He wrote a book about flying around in private jets, writing CrossFit workouts. Like, That's a high horse.
He's still on his high horse. Don't. You're fucking.
I just think.
Listen, you know why you think he got off his high horse? Because you're now on a high horse, looking him in the eye. But he didn't get off his high horse. Now you're on a high horse.
You're talking to me or Hunter?
I like the horse that I'm on. I've worked very hard to be in this position, be confident enough to be in the position that I'm in. But in reality, I just, from an outside perspective, I like the communication, the community building he's doing. It seems to be a very different version of himself, and I appreciate that. What?
Right? That's kind of his new title. That's his new job.
I think it's great. Now, so many people look up to him.
Your job is to win Hyrox races, and you do it. His job was to promote the CrossFit games, and I think he did a pretty good job there too. I mean, you may be thinking it was a high horse, but he was just playing a role.
No. But dude, listen, I've spent time with people, and like, when someone's got an attitude and when someone doesn't have an attitude. Like, there's people in all different levels, and you don't have to act a certain way because you're at a high level.
He extinguished people's lives for a living. I don't know. I met him only after he had done that. I never knew him before.
I get that, but dude, I'm here with a buddy of mine. We're here at Evolution Athletics, and that's where we're hosting the Battle Bunker event this weekend. And we're here with the top military performers in the entire world, and they're all super humble and super cool. They would never tell you that they are special. They're just special people. They don't act like it. They'll sit at the table with you. They'll act cool. They'll give you time. They'll help you out. There's no ego to it whatsoever. And I appreciate that. And these people have definitely done the same exact thing. They're in the same category as him. And there's an attitude about it that you can either adopt or you can choose to not adopt it. And
well, I'll say it's interesting you say that. I'll say this about Dave. He'll never tell you he's cool either or brag about his stories. But some of these people that you're describing to me who are all humble and kind and nice, they'll fucking talk ad nauseum about their accolades. Where Dave will never talk. You'll never hear Dave talk about his accolades.
Sure.
But he has an air of like, I'm fucking cool as shit about him. So like, I know what you're saying. I'm not done. I know he's on a high horse. I think you're crazy if you think he got off his horse. He's on a giant horse.
I think he's a great guy.
He's got a ladder on top of his horse.
That's awesome. Is he one of those kind of people that rides around town on an elephant with a platform on top? That's the level sick. I want to get to.
Hey, look at this Jez chick Jez chick is all up in your shit. Listen, look at her. And better be careful. She's hot. Hunter has got butt hurt. He got cut at the CrossFit Games. And then look at Jez Kresman, a pot calling the kettle black. Did you two pump chump her or something, Hunter?
Probably.
You're an asshole.
I think her name is Jess.
I'm a sweet peach. I'm the sweetest peach there is. Listen, I got a lot of haters in this game, and I'm okay with it.
Hey, how about Jocko? Does that guy talk about himself? I don't listen to enough of his stuff. I don't know.
I think he's brilliant. I mean, okay. I think if he's that dude's serving a lot of good up to the world.
I know this much about Jocko.
I don't know. Read some of his books and hang out. Just kind of pick up on his stuff. I think it's pretty good. There's a certain clique of these guys. They all did hard things, and then they get into this position where they share information, and it's all part of like Jordan Peterson has a really positive message, but that dude's high as a kite on himself.
I hope he is.
Mushrooms.
Jeffrey Birchfield, Amanda Hari did a nice little video about the Broken Science initiative at the ranch. I actually met her there. I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but I met her. I got to shake her hand.
What's Broken Science?
Broken Science is the explanation of where science lost its way. What are the ramifications of it? What's the damage been done because it's lost its way? And what you can do to make sure you're not duped by it, giving you the tools to not be duped by it. He wishes he pump chump me. Wow, this chick's amazing. Doesn't that you like her now a little bit, don't you?
I appreciate that a woman woke up at, I'm assuming she's probably on West Coast time. She's up at 5:45 in the morning just throwing fucking stones.
God.
That's a brave soul right there.
I have such low self-esteem that if a chick that hot were even to just address me, I would be like,
you know that she's hot?
I'm just looking at her fucking picture.
You don't know that she's hot, dude.
Hot enough for me. Don't ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like Ridley to me, which makes me think she's East Coast. She's close to you, Hunter.
Heidi Kroom, I like the Kako. Look at who doesn't.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a little Kako?
There's one woman on here that comes onto your show sometimes, and she just shows off her big old bosoms. That's her, like her. I don't even know what her name is, but her profile is just her cans pushed up really tight up into the screen.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Allison.
Yep.
I'm going to see her today. I'm going to her son's birthday party.
Rad. The best.
Yeah.
The best.
Hey, those aren't like that's just the way they are.
Are they enhanced?
No.
Are they enhanced like Hiller?
No.
Those are au natural.
And dude, you don't got to push them up or nothing. They're like it's crazy.
I'm just an emoji over here, nodding.
Sevi, did you watch What Is a Woman? Yanni, I didn't. I mean, I've seen like 100 clips from it, and I approve. I approve of the movie. Great movie. Yeah, heavies. Jay Hartle, heavies for sure. They're heavies. Yeah.
Did you guys see the clip about how that man woman tied at D1 world D1 swimming? The woman who competed, and she tied with the other woman, but they gave it to Leah Thomas. Have you seen that interview with the girl talking about it?
Yes.
Is it new?
At least the clip I saw seemed new. Everyone's just like coming out now, and they're just like now that they're out of the universities, they're just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming wrong, but that sucks big.
Do you like Trish says Allison and I have big naturals. Does that make you like Trish more, knowing she has huge tits?
I'm cool with that.
I just like Trish. I like Trish for her mind. She's got witty comments.
Have you guys met Trish?
No. Trish doesn't. We think Trish might be an AI. Hey,
she's deep state Russian?
It's so fucked up that Leah Thomas came in there and that they gave Leah Thomas the trophy in that. It's crazy.
Dude, now she's a celebrity. She maybe made the right decision by fucking over a lot of people. Now she's probably going to have like campaigns and opportunities for the rest of her life because she was the first person to do it. First on the scene, gives you some street cred.
With that said, Hunter, would you consider this comment from Magnus that you will become a female compete at the CrossFit Games?
I really did I think I mentioned this last time I was on here, the Canadian guy who went to the Canadian powerlifting championships and just identified as a woman, very clearly being in the state of being a man, not even trying to be anything but a man, and dominated like that. I radically appreciate.
I mean, I suppose I could do that, right? In CrossFit.
Dude, you should go out and just start sniping competitions because the place that you're in right now, like I doubt that they're going to drug test, and if they're willing to allow you to just identify with whatever you want.
At what point would they have the drug test to shut me down?
I don't know.
It would be after a stage of competition where I'd already have messed everything up.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Who do you think out of the three of us we would be the least surprised if one of us went through transition like Bruce Jenner did? Like if in 5 years it's like, wow, did you know that Sevan is a woman now? His name is Savannah, or do you think it would be Hiller? Or do you think it would be you? Who do you think? Which one of us?
I'd be Hillary.
I think it would be Hiller because then he'd make a YouTube episode about it and try to get those cheap views.
Oh, fair.
That's fair. Before you told me you've done mushrooms 200 times, I would have said me as well. but now I'm like his mind might be a little tweaked out, and he's just going to become a woman.
Dude, I didn't even know this. You made a video of who is the fittest on earth, and you made a video about Hyrox. I didn't watch it, but I put it into my notes to watch it. What did you dub? Did you say that we're not as fit as CrossFitters?
I did.
Why?
Wow, this is quite a nice mix, by the way, of Sevan, Hunter, and Hiller. Yeah, there's no landslide. No one's getting like it's not everyone's just like, of course it would be Hiller. It's like a
no, I think it's definitely Hiller.
It's a nice sprinkling. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Hyrox. Hyrox are not as fit as CrossFitters. Go on.
I really do.
I'm not taking this as an insult.
I know. I'm getting more and more aboard the idea of kind of a single set of workouts or a workout towards finding out your fitness relative to your competition, the way Hyrox has it set up. But they're missing top end strength, accuracy, coordination, agility. and they really are having emphasis on.
Do you really think those things define fitness? Because there's a difference between.
I can say that there's probably too much of a. I mean, especially in the coming seasons in CrossFit and what we've seen Bosman do, there's a strong emphasis on it, but Hyrox completely avoids it.
No, it does, because like if you want to like bring in
skill, like,
yeah. Trust me, dude.
I'm not saying that it's 100% necessary to have a 400-pound back squat to win Hyrox, but if you can't go do it after winning a Hyrox race or within that like season, and somebody can come in and lose to you by a couple of minutes, but it can also put up 20% more on a squat or a bench or a deadlift, they kind of balance out, and I think it's just missing.
Sure. I just think that at least at this point that I've got to in my career, like if I was going to make the ultimate test, I'd probably bring in a 2K row, a 2-mile time trial, the NFL combine and the NFL combine. Like that would be basically my test to find out the fittest person on earth. And then like a swim test also. I think you basically just cover it because you're covering explosivity, vertical, you're testing basically strength, endurance. Sprinting is, basically human movement patterns at high capacity. Endurance, you're testing muscular endurance through rowing, you're testing physical competency in water, and then you're testing endurance competency in running. And then if you basically took that same thing and you tried to push it towards CrossFit or a Hyrox person, the CrossFitter is going to win because of the CrossFitter is going to win because they have less holes, I would say. They
throw in a marathon, 26.2 miles, and a powerlifting total.
Yeah, I mean, like it depends on what you skew it towards. Like, because we'll beat them so badly because you give them 3 metrics for the powerlifting total.
Tell me this. Here you go.
Yeah.
You run a marathon.
Yeah.
And you can do it. What? Have you done one?
Yeah.
What was your time?
254. But right now, I just did off like a week of training because I wanted to show that I could beat Nick Bear. Which I did.
What would you have said your like bench squat and deadlift would have been at the time?
Wait a second. You just did a marathon after Hyrox already? You've already done a marathon?
No. I didn't do it in the last week. Nick Bear is this dude who I completely respect, but he says he's like he is the pioneer of hybrid athletics, which I thought was bullshit because I've been doing this sport.
Is he juiced?
Yes.
I don't know enough about him to say yes, and that's not the point of this conversation.
Hiller, is he juiced?
It's not the point of this conversation for Hunter, but yes. For me, he's juiced. Anyway.
Yeah. But if you had us run a marathon and then go and do the powerlifting, I think I would beat the CrossFitters. Because I'll probably after a marathon still pull over 500. I'll probably still squat in the high 3s, and they'll probably squat in the mid 4s. And I'll probably beat them a fair amount on the deadlift after being so tired. But we'd probably start to equalize. We'd start to get closer, and where I'd lose about 10% of my strength.
Somehow managed to leave out the most important lift, the bench press,
which I would get. I get them.
All right. Okay. So
I did a weightlifting session.
That Justin Medeiros can do a 3:15 marathon, and then he'd be able to put up probably 475 on the back squat, probably deadlift in the mid 5s, and then put up something around a 325 bench.
No, I bet you he'd lose 20 to 30. I bet you if we did it right afterwards, I bet you he'd lose about 20 to 30% of his strength.
This is why the competition needs to happen, because I've made statements in the past about how you are one of the fittest, if not the fittest dude on the planet, but you can't snatch.
No, I can't. But that's where skill comes in. It's like, it's the difference between throwing a fastball and throwing a dart. Like if we're using the same range of motion, but you add it to such level of specificity and its degree of hitting a target, the dart player is going to beat me every time. But if you ask that same dart player to hand him a baseball, I'll throw a faster baseball than him.
Hey, the interesting thing is also, what do you think about like this thing that Hunter dominated, this Skull Ranch thing? So he dominates obstacle course, like dominates, and he dominates Hyrox. Like he really dominates the things he's good at, right?
Did you see the physical 100? Either of you?
No.
He would have dominated those dudes. Too. Yeah, he would have messed them up. I was watching the show, and I think I would have messed those guys up. I think that the Broken Skull Ranch crew is a bunch of, I don't know. I don't think that they can. shake a freaking weight at anyone in the CrossFit community and the Hyrox community. But Hunter can speak closer to that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Of course they can. You had Tommy Hackenbrook and Hunter McIntyre in there. They're the two of the best in the game at both of those. What are you talking about, Hiller?
Yeah, we had games level podium athletes at Broken Skull. We had a lot of high level regional guys like this dude.
Tommy's a legit athlete, like a legit athlete. He's not just a great CrossFitter. Like,
all right.
Don't you think? I mean, he's like Frony type athlete
that I've ever met.
I forgot about Hackenbrook.
Yeah, Hackenbrook's awesome. Dude, Ian, I can't remember his last name, but dude, Ian was a freestyle national champion in wrestling. He was like a top 7 guy at regionals in SoCal back when SoCal regionals was fucking beefy as fuck. Like back when like Bridges and like Khalipa and stuff were showing up.
I think Hackenbrook could probably walk on and start today as an old man on a fucking junior college football team.
That'd be nuts.
Eaton Beaver, hey, Hiller's the only one who can have his shirt off. Not true, but I appreciate it.
I got one more thing to say about is I was running up that hill at the ranch, and Castro, I did a workout. It's 4 rounds, 400 meter or 200 meter run up the hill, and then 25 unbroken wall ball. And he goes afterwards that no buns had been able to run up the hill all 3 times. And I thought, I bet Hunter could. I thought it.
Easily. Yeah.
Because I finished the workout 17 something minutes, and I go right before we started. He said 15 minutes is where he thought I would finish, and then I'm like, I wonder what Hunter could do this workout in. It's like right up your wheelhouse.
When I went to the CrossFit Games, I never claimed that I was going to win the CrossFit Games, but I knew that I would dominate in the high score. I could have had a top 10 score at the end of the games if they'd given me the whole weekend. Now, like you think about when I competed, they had that run thing with the snatches. You had the walk on the hands. I got fucked there. The ruck, I would have won that. Then you had the sled push with the muscle ups. I would have done well there. The next workout was what's the one where you do pistols, pull-ups, and handstand push-ups? Would have been crushed there.
Dude, my mind just went somewhere. You may have made the games this year out of the semifinals.
Hunter might have.
Have you thought about
185 pound snatches into an 800 meter run? I would have won that workout even right now when I don't snatch.
Oh, that's interesting.
Did you look at the semifinals?
That's a good video. That's a good video for you to make, Hunter.
I know. I don't know if I want to talk about it now.
I thought about starting to make those videos, but then the dude,
like you would have won this workout. It's a win. That's 100 points for Hunter.
Wow.
Right.
And then you give me that snatch in the run thing for 800 meters.
Workout number 2. This one would have been a challenge. Probably last. It's the ring
that's
comp.
Not hard for me. I always it was good with rings.
Are you decent at single-legged squats? Can you move through that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So maybe you finish.
In all honesty, like complexity
but then I
for
think
me
you could have done well.
from
Linda.
What's that?
Linda.
No, I didn't do too bad, dude. I did Linda against Jacob Hepner, and I only finished about 90 seconds after him.
Wow.
And that's a good workout for him.
I'm saying you do well on that. And then you would have won event 5 because it was an 800 meter run. But the snatches may have really put you back. It was 8 snatches.
Dude, I never had trouble with snatches at 185. It's right when it got to like 205, my level of technicality started to go sideways.
Tom says he would have definitely qualified in Europe, Hiller.
What's the he would have he would have done well here.
Here's a challenge that I'm putting out right now. I want to have I don't know if I can say this because of the like people own the rights to the name, but I want to do a charity event in the fall to early winter of Murph. And I talked to Hiller about this yesterday where I'd like to him to come in as the head judge. I'm going to ask everybody to bring $1,000 to donate to the charity. So everybody who participates has to come in and donate money to charity. There's no prizes for us whatsoever. And we all just duke it out. And Murph's one of those kind of workouts where the calisthenics lean towards somebody who are a high capacity athlete like a CrossFitter, and the running leans towards somebody like a Hyrox athlete.
I don't think Murph's trademarked. I don't think you can do that.
I think the people who have the Murph challenge own the rights to his name now. And I'm just saying that, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard it.
Then call it Murphy.
Yeah, and I intentionally stopped using that title so much and stopped trying to I stopped trying to push it so hard because I didn't want to get in trouble, because I just wanted to participate and do the workout and motivate people.
What are you laughing at, Hiller?
They trademarked the dude's name.
I know. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
I don't know how parents feel about that. We trademarked that thing. Look at his birth certificate, man.
I
What is
think
this
there's something
name?
like that.
I can't believe
didn't.
Hunter wasn't invited to hang with you guys in Santa Cruz. Sevan did not want to share Hiller. Well, that's true, but also I timed it perfectly with when he was in Europe.
Which I'm kind of hurt about, that you were in North Carolina for such a chunk of time, and that you didn't. You were in Newport for such a chunk of time, and you guys didn't even call me. I'm heartbroken.
Dude,
Ken Walters, Hunter would have won Africa outright.
I think it would have been challenging, considering he would have finished poorly on at least one event, which is always hard to come back on.
The one rep max snatch, if I hit 225, I'd be freakishly excited.
Are you glad that? Are you glad that this Hyrox event this year is over? Do you feel a sense of relief?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just another year. I'm good at it at this point enough so that I know that I can do what I want to do with it when I participate at the level that I need to participate to win. A couple years ago when I was not really focused, when I first met you, I lost, and that was enough to like burn my fingertips and piss me off to come back and just like make sure that if I ever do show up, I have to be fully prepared. And
then what do you, and now you're just are you in Manchester now? Where are you now?
No, I'm in North Carolina. We have the Battle Bunker regional going off tomorrow.
And that's in North Carolina? Yeah,
it's at my buddy Evolution, Chris's gym, Evolution Athletics. If you guys are in North Carolina and you're watching, you should come watch. Like you should come participate.
What's the name of the gym again?
Evolution Athletics in West End, North Carolina.
Evolution Athletics.
We got the whole thing live streamed tomorrow. You guys, if you have Saturday and you're willing to watch this show, you should be willing to watch the live stream for this thing. First event is called yard work. It's kind of like a Murph style workout. You do a mile, then you do 60 shoulder to overhead, 120 push-ups, 240 air squats, 1 mile run.
Do you guys have a website?
Battlebunker.com, I think it is. It is 100-pound sandbag.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the address of this place. Oh, here we go. 2065 Juniper Lake Road, West End, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Juniper.
And you're at a hotel near there right now?
Airbnb, baby.
And you're there with the guy.
Austin Alexander.
Austin Alexander. That's crazy. And are you guys nervous about it going off tomorrow?
No.
You're ready?
I'm really ready.
Are you judging?
I'm the race director, so I just like have to make sure that the judges are doing their job and the athletes feel comfortable, and that the workouts are like very clearly understood and then done at a high level of integrity.
Trish, I have to wash my hair at that time. Hunter, what time is it on?
We'll start the live stream at 7 EST AM, and then we go until about 2 p.m.
And it's live stream on the YouTube station Battle Bunker?
Yeah.
No, you don't even fucking know what you're talking about.
Sorry, I had a brain pause. Brain fart.
But you still don't know.
Where? Yeah. What about this? Where's that link? I was looking on your channel. I can't find it. Oh,
hey,
it's not
Austin,
Battle
where's the live link for the show?
Oh, right there. I think someone found it.
This?
Right there. Notify me.
Oh, okay. Battle Bunker.
Is this it right here? Is that?
You're telling Ryan to check his text message. Ryan there? Oh, no.
No, Ryan's not
damn.
here.
Yep, that's it right there.
486,000 subscribers.
Hey, hold on, so good.
Good work.
Austin's YouTube station has over 1 million. That dude in the yellow right there.
Oh, and Sevan.
What's up?
Yeah,
dude?
Sevan. These are the boys.
Yeah.
These are the boys. Yeah, we got our whole crew here. We're all set up. Like, we worked hard on this thing, so it's gonna have a really, really good result. And basically, this is just a filter to get to the championships. And when you get to the championships, that's where shit gets crazy. Where it's gonna be like a combination of special forces style training meets like CrossFit Games style competition.
Look at this dork right here going over these wooden logs. What is that? What's wrong with that guy?
Dude, those things are so hard.
They are. What, you got to weave them?
Yeah,
Oh,
the Weaver. The Weaver is
oh.
like one of the most ugly obstacles you can go through. It's brutal.
54 athletes from around the
Where's this
Was
Weaver?
this channel converted from another channel?
No,
No.
freaking.
It's always been
See?
Battle Bunker.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Austin's the master.
This is at a CrossFit gym. Sorry, Hunter, to interrupt. This is at a CrossFit gym. All this shit.
No. That's our championship location. That's built at the Elite Training Center down in Chula Vista.
This is crazy, dude. This thing.
Yeah, your boy designed that thing.
You did?
Yeah, Big Daddy.
Hey, did you get splinters on that Weaver thing?
No. The guys who built it, Brett Stewart. If you guys ever want to have one of these things built at your gym, it's really, they have an incredible team, and they've been building obstacle courses for well over a decade.
God, this is so not sexy. He's talking to that guy. He's like, "Help me."
I think that's Luke Skywalker.
Help me. I can't.
Is the field captain kind of the head judge?
No. That's just one of the judges that are there. But we have like several. I think that all the judges just wear field captain shirts.
Did he have to go under that way?
Yeah, you got to.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that didn't look like the best way to do that, but
That's Hiller.
I'll admit, like this guy.
That's
is
Hiller
not,
trying to have sex. That's what it looks like when Hiller's having sex. Right
this
there.
guy's not a prime example
that.
of what an obstacle course racer looks like. But our sport's not based off obstacle course racing. But we designed this thing to make it like an aspect of some of our events. Like it's not the center of what we do.
That guy was also 6 months into transition hormone therapy.
You can tell because he's
Have you, Trish? If you have enough spicy margaritas, you forget about the splinters. Oh, fair enough. Thank you.
Is Trish a deep state spy or is she a chick?
No one knows.
Yeah, nobody knows.
So how many of these people, like you have like people that are Spiegel on here, like who are these people?
Dick Butter.
Yeah.
What do you do after? So you're gonna do this tomorrow. Then where do you go?
I literally put my backpack on and I hike 700 miles to Connecticut.
How far is the head of the trail from where you're sleeping right now, where you're sitting?
60 miles. I'm not starting. I'm not going there, but someone drops me off.
And what are you gonna do with all your shit, like your computer that you're looking at right now?
My team's gonna take it back to California.
Okay, so tomorrow after the event, or the day after that, you're going to put a backpack on. Can I see the backpack you're going to wear?
It's in the car, but I can go get it if you really want me to.
And you're going to wear that backpack for 3 weeks? Does it have a tent in there?
Yeah, it's got a tent that's like the size of a tube sock. And I only have about 25 meals on me. So I'll hike until I'm hungry. And then I'll probably pull off on one of the main roads and then hike into town, grab more food, and then go again.
And so 3 weeks by yourself on the Appalachian Trail. And how many miles to Connecticut?
700 to 800.
And you plan on doing it in how long?
20 days.
That ends up being 30 miles a day, 40 miles a day.
Yeah.
And will you walk all that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like run it.
Are you bringing a gun?
Dude, I have the 44 Magnum Dirty Harry pistol, and I take it out every once in a while and I watch Dirty Harry, but I'm not gonna bring it on this trip.
Bear spray, pepper spray?
No. Dude, I think anybody who encounters me in the woods is in trouble. Like if you're looking for trouble, you found it. So
right. You are a lot of man, that's for sure. LJM McNally 25. Hunter, have you worked with First Form before?
No, but they invited me last year after Hyrox Championships to their headquarters, and it's fucking insane. That is such a cool company. What?
I remember you saying that.
Dude, you should go. I'm sure they'd bring you out there just because of the level of content that you produce and just what you do in fitness. Like, it's insane. Like, I mean, it like is the level of like Harvard level business meets like, a supplement company. They have supercars like throughout the entire like facility. It's
give you one to drive around.
No, but I deserve one. Dude, you know what was crazy? My friend Mark, he picked me up the Sunday after Hyrox World Championships, and he knows I'm a big fan of cars, and he picked me up in his Lamborghini STO, which is the highest level of Lamborghini there is, and he drove me around London at a pace that you're not supposed to, and all I want is a Lamborghini now. It was one of the most exciting feelings in the entire world.
Get rid of that 8 mile per gallon truck you've got and pick up one of them.
Dude, that TRX is probably the worst financial decision I've ever made.
Wow. I want to hear about that 1 second. Trish, Sevan, thank you for giving a platform to the hottest man in the autism community. Fair. Totally legit comment.
Now, hold on. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Who's the autistic guy, Hiller or me?
Yeah. Well, you guess. You pick. Don't, you guys, both of you can have it. Don't ruin it for anyone.
That's me.
Dude, that's it.
I know who I think it's for.
Definitely Hiller.
Yeah.
You need to enhance a boy like Hiller just so he can enjoy life a little bit more. Like, look at that smile. That's an autistic smile.
Hey, okay, so why are you doing that? Why are you hiking 3 weeks on the Appalachian? You're not trying to do it in some record time. You're not doing. You're just. Why are you doing that?
We'll talk about the car in a second, I guess, but I've just recognized that like all I do these days is just work and work out. And like, I'm not saying that I don't like my life, but I think I'd like to reevaluate some of like the ways that I spend my time and what how I spend it, who I spend it with, what I value. And I can't remember who said the quote, but basically they said, any issue that you have, I'm paraphrasing this, can be solved through long treks. Like, if you are trying to figure out something, go for a long trek. And I'm trying to figure something out, so I'm going to go for a long trek.
Are you going to ask a question like that? Like before you go on will you like write down some things like, what should my next venture be? Or like, is there some question you're looking for an answer for? And like, you want to go out into wilderness and kind of let maybe the subconscious naturally come to the top and give you the answer?
Dude, I just have reached this point where this is going to sound braggadocious, but I've reached this point where I'm as good as I could possibly get at what I do. Like there's no one who's going to beat me at this thing. I'm making more money than I ever have before. And then I meet these people that are at the top of the ladder in their industry. I know all these millionaires, billionaires, superstar athletes, all these kind of things. And across the board, a lot of them are not happy. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, am I going in the right direction? Like, is this the right thing? And I started to question that about myself a couple years ago, but I didn't really have the time and the means to take a break and really deeply think about it. And I'm not saying I'm going to change my life, but I may change who I spend my time with, how I handle it. Like just this phone alone, I think destroys people's lives. And like, I'm like recognizing that we spend so much time on technology and we're focusing on all these verticals of cash and outcomes and perceived values and, what people think of you. And I'm like, damn, like I remember the happiest I ever was probably when I was 13 and I owned a skateboard and I played lots of music and I went fishing all the time. And there was nobody that I was doing it for other than myself.
And that's probably just right around the age when you masturbate, some ejaculate comes out too.
Mm-hmm. And it's like one of these kind of things where I think people should probably do this more often, because if you are just living in the same vein of life, I think you forget about the things that inspire you, challenge you, all these kind of things. Because I'm so good with my physical body that things don't challenge me that much anymore. And I'm starting to get good enough at business that doesn't even really challenge me as much anymore. And I'm trying to find something where I'm like, I need a little bit more juice out of these lemons. So I think, when you go out and all you have is a backpack and a direction, you probably find something in that space.
Will the trail be busy? Will you see people on the trail?
Oh yeah. It's like the most popular foot trail in the entire world. And I'll see people, but it's like two ships passing in the night. I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, where's the next watering hole? And then they just pass and go and pass and go. And at nighttime. Yeah, at nighttime, I'll probably sit there and I'll be with people because there's these kind of locations where people congregate and spend the night. But, I don't know. I'm probably not going to spend real chunks of time with people. I'll be mostly by myself.
And you won't be listening to music, and you'll have your phone turned off. You're going to cope with, you're going to do hunter.
Yeah, I'm going to do 3 days. My focus is 3 days in a row, every single chunk that I can get with no phone.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. Your parents aren't asking you to call them every day or anything like that?
No, I promised my dad and my mom, like, everybody always has this like level of worry, but I'm like, I'll contact you every 3 days.
Okay.
And my dad's picking me up somewhere along the way.
And do you have any excuses that are going to pop up? Like, hey, I have a business to deal with. I need to check my text messages. Or are you prepared to deal with that's part of the experience. It's like when that emotion arises up in you, where there's this level of urgency, you think you need to do something. That's what I'm trying to break my mind from. Yeah, good. I understand that. Yeah.
You always think that all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I gotta post this. I have to. Like, I need to. I need to contact that person. I need to. And in reality, like, you don't need any of that. And like, that's where I've grown this level of dependency on, where it's like, you always think you need to do something, where in reality, you probably don't need to do any of it. You're probably doing too much.
God, you're so fucking cool. You're so smart to do this. What a cool. Is any part of this scary for you?
I think there's going to be a point. I wish I had my journal on me. I think that what I wrote is, I hope that I cry. I hope that I scream. I hope I have sleepless nights before I have the deepest sleep of my entire life, is what I wrote in my journal.
Haiku. I recognize haiku and then a little bit of iambic pentameter, and they're very nice, Mr.
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
And my thought is there is going to be a point where I is going to feel like I'm sitting on top of like a hot burning stove. My brain will be melting, and I'll be begging for someone to talk to me. I'll be begging for an answer to a question that I've been thinking about for the past couple of days. And then it will probably fade away. And that's where that deep sleep that I'm talking about will show up.
My buddy Travis told me about 6 months ago that he's done having normal friends. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm just done having normal friends. I'm like, what about the normal people you know already? He goes, they can be grandfathered in, but from now on, like, no mediocre friends in my life. Like, I'm not letting new people in my life unless they're fucking extraordinary. And I don't think it's arrogant at all for you to say that, you have a satchel full of cash and you're in the best physical shape of your life, and it's time to I don't think that's arrogant at all. It just fucking is what it is. Hiller and I just had this talk literally last night. I'm like, hey, I don't mean to be an asshole, but it's a privilege to be my friend, and if people aren't gonna I guess take advantage of that privilege that it is to be my friend, then they got to go.
Yeah.
I don't mean it in an arrogant way at all.
It's funny. He asked if I'm gonna
appreciate.
What's that?
Appreciate. Yeah, I guess appreciate. Like I'm an amazing flower. If you can't figure that out, if you're stomp on me, you're toast. I don't even mean it like in a I'm in full blossom. Yeah. Appreciate the fact that Sevan
I only want sunshine. Yeah. This Wad Zombie guy asked if I was going to masturbate at all on this trip. When I was
I'm actually curious about that too. Thank you, Wad Zombie.
When I was in rehab, we were out in high desert Nevada, like 7,000 feet up in the air, freezing cold. And
where's this going?
No, I'm telling you, like
it froze. The ejaculate froze. I've never heard that story. As it came out of your penis, it froze like an icicle.
Basically, but I remember one night just laying in the freezing cold. They would not give you tents. They only gave you tarps. So you'd build these kind of like lean-tos where you'd string it across trees. You put down your sleeping mat, and you'd be in the bag, like a negative 40-degree bag, and it would reach that temperature often. It was so not negative 40, but it would reach below zero often. It was so fucking cold. And I remember I jerked off, and I came, and I just dropped my head back. My head was outside of the awning of the tarp, and I just looked up, and it was a painting of just the most insane stars that I've ever seen. And a shooting star goes across, and I was just like, what the
this
fuck
is the best thing ever.
Right I know.
That was the most romantic ejaculate you ever had.
I was like, oh my God. I'm like, the world is having an orgasm with me. And I was like, I'm in rehab right now. People consider this to be a prison sentence, and I am living the most blissful existence of all time.
Someone's got to clip that.
Dude,
what does that mean? So are you going to ejaculate on your hike to the Appalachian Trail or not?
I will probably find a place to do it. I remember last time I did this on the Appalachian Trail, I ate a bunch of mushrooms and I ran to the top of a mountain as the sun was setting on December 31st, 2019. And I just got naked on top of the mountain and I just looked out at the sunset and completely naked. And I was like, wow. And that's probably an experience where I jerk off right there.
Stephen Flores, Hunter, will you ever settle down and have kids?
Oh yeah. Between 4 and 6
kids.
Do you ever?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Why is that? Why?
I was one of 4. Dad was one of 5. Mom was one of 5. I just recognized, like, my family are my best friends, and like they're just the most incredible people. And we come together like we're not this fractured family. Like when we come together, it's 10 to 20 people at all times. And when I go visit my family,
that's nice.
In Europe, there's incredible family where we sit down at the table at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and we don't get up until noon or 1. Like nobody is tired of each other. It's this incredible thing. And like you can build this ecosystem of your own ideals and your own morals, and you can build this tribe. And I'm not saying that my lifestyle is the best lifestyle, but I think my mindset, my mentality, and the lifestyle I live is fantastic. And I'd love to just build a team around that. And I would love to
interrupt your hike on the Appalachian Trail with a live
drop in.
Yeah, send you a link. Heidi Kroom with the same woman, or all the children with the same woman? You think, Hunter?
I'd hope so.
There's a couple
or two women that get along, or 2 women that get along.
20 women that get along.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever seen that clip of the guy and they're like, do you have any children? He goes, 21 with 20 different women. I'm a real bad man. You ever seen that?
I saw your pecs bouncing just now when you talked. I didn't hear a word you said. I just saw your titties moving, Hunter. Chrissy, the worst thing in life is getting to the top of a mountain and realizing you climbed the wrong mountain. I think Hunter's quest is noble. Me too. You're such a fucking cool dude, man.
Well, dude, I've been,
Sevi, don't suck his dick too hard.
No, but you probably recognize what I'm talking about. You probably been in that place before where you're like going so hard, and then all of a sudden you lift your head up and you're like, fuck, is this the right direction?
Well, I don't know if I've done that, but I've definitely done the journey into the unknown that you want to do. I've done the silence. I've done the like, hey, I'm going to go off into the abyss and see what the universe wants me to hear and meet. And dude, it like so many people don't do that. I think that if you've never been homeless, you fucking absolutely have fucking missed out on life.
I'm going to be homeless for a week. How long do I need to be homeless?
You need to just truly be homeless. Just
Dude,
sell
do you want to go
with
me? Just 2 buff dudes, just go down to Skid Row and just make it work for a week.
Yes.
It's gonna be after your trip. Yes. I'm in. I'm down.
Yes. I'm ready, dude. Put me in the dirt. Let me live
for a week.
When I was as poor as it gets, like I was riding the bus system a lot, and like the homeless people basically use that as like that's their only vessel. And I got to meet some insane people, and I also got to pick up some really cool perspectives. Like there's some incredibly brilliant people in these positions that have chosen this lifestyle for whatever reason it may be. And they're more enlightened than a lot of us because we're the ones, the hamsters on the wheels that have been built for us, and they broke out of that fucking cage.
What does that enlightenment sound like from those people?
I mean, dude, when you have nothing, they can take nothing. And when you live every moment and every day in the moment of just finding your next high, whether it be a drug or the next bridge that you're living underneath or the next like just part of the journey. When I was living in Montana, I had a ferret named Esteban, and he loved homeless people, and I would take him to the park and he would run around and he would beeline it to homeless people. I'm like, fuck, Esteban, come back. And he would just charge these homeless people, and then he'd just jump up on them because they smell like shit, and he loved the smell of shit. And I would end up having to have this conversation because I had to retrieve my ferret back, and I would have these conversations with him. And I was like, so how'd you end up here? Like, what's your story? Blah, blah, blah. And these dudes had pretty fucking good lives, and they were very coherent, and they really made their choices based off of what they wanted rather than anything of like having to do what somebody else told them to get through the day to pay rent.
Hey, Hiller, I'll give you kind of a sign. When you start witnessing a relatable sign that I think will resonate with you, when you start recognizing there's levels to sort of, I guess maybe enlightenment, but one of the strong correlates is you start recognizing that you're in synchronicity with the world and that the world's taking care of you and that you can you're basically always in a flow state. And basically the world, everything you need is right in front of you and it's just coming at you. Instead of you having to force the world to get you what you want, you get what you want. And so it's that's kind of like how you make videes. You trust. I always have this thing. You have this trust that it's coming. The content's coming. Yes, say it again.
I always tell Alexis, and I stole this quote from Archer, the TV show. Like things tend to work out for me, but you have to you have to believe that things are going to work out. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah. Just do what you want to do and do it with good intentions, right?
I don't know what the 4 rules of Buddha are, but they basically, the Buddha came back from his form of enlightenment and he sat down with all of his yogi friends because he used to be a yogi. And he basically sat down with them. They didn't want to talk to him. And he sat down with them and they were ignoring him for a long time. But then they kept on recognizing as they looked over, he was like, beaming with light and energy that they couldn't really understand why he was so powerful. So they eventually felt too attracted to him to ignore him anymore. And then he taught them the 4 rules that he'd figured out. And the first 2, one is he said the world is suffering. And then the next one is basically like the second rule is once you can understand that the world is suffering and you can disassociate and not be attached to the suffering and accept it, that's when you find enlightenment. And maybe these homeless people recognize the world is suffering and they don't want to do it in the way that the world is like, basically brainwash you that you have to do. And then you disassociate, and then that version of disassociation is being homeless. Fuck, they made it.
I don't know. I think most of I think most of those dudes are just drug addicts.
I don't know, man. A lot of these guys weren't that high when I was talking to them, but some of them definitely fucking.
They weren't that high.
Yeah.
Hey, I've talked about do you remember Fitness Lonnie, Hunter?
Fitness Lonnie, no.
Yeah, from the early days of CrossFit, Dorian.
Mm-mm.
Well, now he's a monastic monk. He's been a monastic monk for a Buddhist monk he's probably getting closer to 10 years than 5 years. And basically he just has to walk around wherever he is and do alms. And if he doesn't get food by noon, he's not allowed to ask for food or get his own food. And if someone doesn't give him food by noon, he can't eat the rest of the day. That's one of his. And so he sees the synchronicity of the world. He's in Alabama. He puts on his monk robe. No one's ever seen a Buddhist monk, and he walks around. And he sees the synchronicity of the world keeping him alive because people will actually just give him food. Go ahead.
When was the last time you had Raw of the Earth on here?
Recently, right? A few months ago.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Are you friends with him, Hunter? Should I have you guys on together?
I like that guy a lot. He came up to my house and he and I had like a 2 to 3 hour just like deep dive.
Oh, good. That's nice.
That's one of those guys where. What's that?
What happened to your ferret? Everyone needs to know. Where's
Esteban? I had to when rehab was up, I had to go and I couldn't bring him back with me. So Esteban, he moved in with some other people.
Oh, you didn't?
Dude, Esteban was a genius. Like I trained him to go up the stairs and down the slide. He loved the slide. Like he was a straight up he was a homie.
Wait, you had a what are those called? Dogs with you can take them anywhere? Like they wear the handicap placard.
Oh, you're talking about like a support animal, emotional.
Oh yeah, you had a support ferret, a service ferret.
It felt like a service ferret. He got me through some tough times.
And everything.
Dude, I loved Esteban. He was a brilliant. I've grown up with ferrets. We had Billy the Kid, we had General Tinkerbell Schnugen, and then I had Esteban.
Listen to these people when you bring up Raw's name. Please no. Oh my God, no.
Dude, I couldn't believe that. I was looking at that.
Fuck no. Oh my God, Raw.
Negative I've ever seen that about one guest.
Jesus,
why did they not like
I love that guy.
I wanted a ferret so bad when I was younger. I don't know why, but my parents wouldn't get me one. They're little rats. They're gonna burrow in the couch.
They are nasty.
Hey, dude, there's this. Do you guys know about the World Economic Forum?
No, tell us.
And Klaus Schwab. Do you know about all that crazy shit?
Tell us some more.
Do you know about Davos, the meeting in Davos?
Mm-mm.
How do you guys not know about any of that stuff?
I probably do. I'm just like you got.
Do you know about the Great Reset?
No.
Are you guys fucking kidding me?
Dude, give me some good reading
What you just said
material.
about Buddha, man?
Do you know about like the thing about electric cars, that basically electric cars, one of the premises of electric cars is like we're all gonna have electric cars, and then the government can be like,
shut
yeah,
them
we're
down.
turning your car off. Or about the truckers in Canada, about how they had their fucking bank accounts frozen.
Well, I will admit, Dad, we're in a position now where, like, if they're able to freeze your businesses, they're able to freeze your money, they're able to do anything. It's become so normalized. Like, I don't know why you depend on any of these fucking things.
Let me show you this guy, Klaus Schwab.
Is he related to Charles Schwab?
I'm about to find out. That's a fucking great question. I'm going to open with that question with my next guest, actually. You don't recognize this dude?
No. But he's probably one of the big players in the game, like the Illuminati style stuff.
Yeah, this guy says stuff like, we have penetrated the cabinets of world leaders. We have yeah, look I can see Lewis already laughing. It's good, right, Lewis? Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating that. And he says stuff here, I'll just bring Lewis on. Here we go.
Hey,
Lewis,
man, how's it going?
Hi.
This guy's been here the whole fucking time.
Yeah, he's been studying
silently.
you guys and doing psychological analysis on you. Hunter, do you have to go?
No, I'm good, dude. We're probably going to get to work in about 30 minutes, so I'm here to chill. I'm enjoying myself.
Hiller, are you fine with Lewis? Are you fine with what?
Of course.
Hiller, you got nowhere to fucking go. Dude, are we having a deltoid off right now? What's going on?
You're gonna lose.
Okay, guys, listen, behave for a second so I can make introductions.
Yes, sir.
Lewis Brackpool is a God. Who would I fucking put him in line with? I guess kind of. Do you know who Jorge Ventura is, Lewis?
Are you deep state, dude? Are you deep state also?
Hunter, behave for a second. Hold on, let me get this out. Hold on, everyone, behave for a second. Lewis is a journalist, but he's also he's more than a journalist. I don't know how to say it because he's doing God's work. He's basically he's sharing with the world the things the mainstream media is not going to share with us. And he's bringing it to all of us in a very palatable format. He has a series that is called, it's a docu-series, very difficult to find, even though it's on YouTube. It's suppressed like fucking crazy. I want to get the exact name right. What's the exact name, Lewis?
You can go on, it's called exposethereset.com. And then that shows you, it's called The Great Reset, basically.
I'm usually more organized than this, by the way, but I just sure this guy's on before you.
Yeah, you're all good. You can find it via Rebel News. It's a company that I worked for. I'm now no longer with, but we've done some great work.
Wait, you're no longer with them?
No, not anymore, sir.
Was it a bad breakup or was it from economics?
No, it was fine. I was just unhappy. Okay. I didn't like the direction, so I just parted ways personally. And yeah, we're still in contact. We're all cool.
Okay, good. That makes me happy to hear that.
Are you in UK?
I am, yes.
What part?
So I'm from a place down south. It sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings. It's called Arundel.
Yeah.
And, it's nice.
Ooh,
it's nice, man.
Like Rivendell.
Yeah, that's it.
So hold on real quick, Hunter. You're scrolling through and you can't try to find it on YouTube, dude. It's crazy.
This is YouTube. Is it none of these?
Yeah, it's none of those. YouTube has so suppressed this. Even after I watched episode 1, I could not find episode 2. I copied and pasted.
I told you that one time where this was back in maybe like 2016, and I one of my best friends I grew up with was on the was a certain high level in YouTube where he runs accounts, and we had the discussion where the first person they were going to remove from YouTube was Alex Jones, and I was like, dude, I don't think that's okay. Like, I don't think you can disagree with somebody's opinion and then all of a sudden remove all of his media, because that basically that de-emphasizes the potential of this platform. And he's like, no, that's like what he's doing is wrong. And I was like, maybe you guys disagree with the message and I'm not agreeing with it right now. I'm just letting you guys know as soon as you start this, it's just going to be a domino effect into whatever else you guys decide to chop down. And now since then, it's like such a common thing where if they don't agree with your messaging, they take you down. And like, it makes in my mind, it makes YouTube a platform that I don't agree with, I don't trust, and I wouldn't invest in at a high level. And my opinion is, I think if I'm thinking in the right direction, the now acquisition of Twitter with Elon Musk is he's going to turn it into a platform where all of this media is going to become present there, and it's going to allow people like Tucker Carlson to host their shows on there and be able to have a free platform without any kind of, I don't know, rules or, basically boundaries. And it's going to be the platform that most people are going to go towards. You're going to find media like this more often on.
But before we go further, that's a great question. I want to get Lewis's take on that because Lewis has an opinion about what's going on over at Twitter and their new CEO. But give me 1 second.
Do this.
Lewis, that gentleman below is Hunter McIntyre. He is a friend and an acquaintance. He just won something in the UK called the Hyrox World Champion. He's the fastest man in the world to ever have done that event. Nice. He's a very well-known, outspoken gentleman in the fitness space. The guy above me is Andrew Hiller, YouTube extraordinaire, dear friend of mine, just came and stayed with me a week at my house, and we did several live shows, and they frequent the show every couple months. Lewis, I do, even though I'm deeply entrenched in the CrossFit community and talk about fitness, you guys all know that I have these live call-in shows where we talk about things just head on about abortion, gender versus the definition of sex. We talk about just all the different things, politics, Democrats, electric cars, just basically the 49ers. That's what we call the injection. We call it the 49ers. Cool. And we basically trying to just have honest conversations about trying to figure out what is the actual truth, what is the actual agenda of such things. And so Lewis popped on my radar for the first time because he went to Davos, which I can't even explain.
What is Davos?
We're going to get to that. Give me 1 second. 1 second. And what's crazy is him and 6 other guys from Rebel Media went there. Is that true, Lewis?
It's true, yeah.
It's a physical location?
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hunter, I'll just tell you this. It was a place where they openly said where the elites were meeting. That's what they call themselves, dude.
Where is Davos?
It's in Switzerland. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
It's like the Leonardo DiCaprios and prime ministers of India and shit like that. And these cats were walking up to him with microphones on the street. But let me do 2 things really quick before we get, and then I just got to get a little bit of control here. I just want to play this. This is the beginning of the docu-series that's titled Introducing the Reset, the Great Reset docu-series, episode 1. And it's very difficult to find on YouTube. You just saw Hiller couldn't find it, even typing in the name. Okay, so here I'm going to play a little bit. This is Klaus Schwab. This is I want to say the founder and CEO, but he's the owner of the World Economic Forum. This guy wants to take over the world and control everything you have. I hate to put such a slant on it right now, but here we go. I'm going to play 7 seconds of this, and then we're going to go back to Twitter, and then we'll come back to Klaus.
Extent. And the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However,
this is a real guy, people. This is like real. This isn't a joke. This isn't a Mike Myers movie.
We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
How the fuck do you know that? Okay, we'll get back to Klaus in a second. Lewis, hi. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you doing this. Lewis, what do you think about what's going on Twitter? Hunter basically said what I thought too until he appointed the CEO, and I saw you made a post about it. Do you have any thoughts on, can you give us some thoughts on Twitter? The floor is yours.
So the new CEO of Twitter is, of course, a World Economic Forum stooge and is part of this same conglomerate of elites that want to, quote unquote, build back better and basically, yeah, like you said earlier, basically take over and create this form of technocracy. But yeah, this is worrying because this same CEO really was pushing for the mandates, was really pushing for mask wearing during the height of absolutely everything. And she was going on record saying, look, we're doing great so far. We need to continue wearing the mask. We need to continue social distancing. And the problem is with all of this is you can say that you're wrong, right? When something happens, or you can say, all right, I was in the wrong when X, Y, and Z happens, for example, the mandates. But she's never, ever addressed these types of problems. And with that being said, this woman is extremely untrustworthy. I'm not sure why Elon Musk decided to appoint.
Do you have any guesses why? I don't know why either. Do you have any guesses why he appointed her?
Well, think about it. They tried to hire Hiller to be the CEO of what's his face's business.
Oh, stop! Oh, stop! Oh,
I'm just telling you, dude. You put somebody there as a pawn, then all of a sudden you can make him the fall man.
Oh.
I've never really trusted Musk personally, and I still don't now. Only because the whole Neuralink thing is a bit mad. The idea of putting chips in people's brains is just very odd to me anyway. And I'm quite skeptical of AI and stuff like that anyway. But he, in the past, has actually parroted a lot of what these guys over at the World Economic Forum have said, such as carbon trackers, such as a universal basic income. Lots and lots of different things that this same organization parrots. So it's very, very odd that all of a sudden because she was a chairman within the World Economic Forum as well. She's not just some low-ranking pawn. She's like a knight or a castle on the chessboard, right? So has a lot of moves. So when I see that, I be honest, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's some sort of controlled type opposition thing. I don't like using that term a lot, but there are cases of this happening. It's really, really difficult to say. So
can't he just be dynamic? Can't he just be like, isn't it like maybe like you and I are too far on one side and maybe he's a little more
what was the name of the person that took over Disney for a little while Bob Iger took a supposed leave of absence and then came back in? They canned him and then they're changing the company again. It could just be a change of positioning where you put somebody in there as a strategic opportunity for things to happen in the company, make big moves, and then all of a sudden make this person the scapegoat for the big moves, and then keep those moves in there, replace back in the original CEO who's not going to take the heat for the things that changed that really pissed everybody off, and then you continue to move forward. Just a thought.
Well, here's the thing. There's been clips surfaced of this CEO talking to Elon Musk at the World Economic Forum and at other spaces as well. And she actually explicitly says to Musk about him limiting his tweets and really strange things like that, saying you shouldn't tweet after a certain time and that you should actually take a step back. So already, before she even has the role, she's already trying to enforce some sort of social control within Musk, who is now, of course, the big boss. So I don't know. I think it's odd. I think it's really, really odd. We must remember
it is odd. We thought he wasn't woke, and now he put someone woke in charge, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember he still attends these world leader summits. He went to the World Leader Summit not so long ago, and then I think said in a room full of all these powerful people, turned around and said, "Look, listen, guys, we should really scale back on the whole world domination thing." And he basically said something along the lines of that. And it's just he's still a player within this game of chess. Because that's what it is. It's 4D chess. Yeah, 100%. So
yeah, of course, he's the most powerful man in the world right now.
Exactly. And, why should that give anyone a reason to trust someone as powerful as that?
Lewis, if you think about it, if you're going to look at platforms of governments and the way that they're moving, things it's all a checks and balance system, except for like in countries like Russia and China where there's no checks and balance system. And things are going to progress too slowly. So you have to take an independent company such as Musk's companies where they have the money and the resources to make moves at a much faster rate than that of a government system and basically make the government system hold no value anymore. We used to have NASA. NASA used to be the version of way that we used to do anything that was out of this planet's stratosphere. We tried to go to the moon. We tried to launch satellites. We tried to land satellites and whatever the fuck it was. Then you take a privatized company where they have no rules and they only have money behind their decisions. That's why he's the most powerful person on earth. And whether or not you trust him is not really a thing that matters that much. It's a form of human progression. And, you can get upset about things, but if you don't like the way the media is working, Buy the media. He did it. If you don't like the way that space like travel and whatever progression's going, build a better space system. If you don't like the way that the car and transportation system's working, build better cars. Like, he's done everything to the umpteenth degree. So I'm not saying he's a perfect man, but he's a man who's making more progress than any country at a level of like multiple X's.
I think.
Let me just throw this in there, Lewis, too, and then it's yours. CK Kevin holding a gun, but Elon put up, "What is a woman?" So he's good in my book, and that's where I'm getting at. So he made this tweet basically pointing to Matt Walsh's movie, and we all like that, right? Because we want not that we're anti-trans or anti-homosexual. We just want definitions, and we want definitions of words, and we want to acknowledge chromosomes and things like that.
Yeah.
So Elon's grounding us in reality a little bit, isn't he, Lewis?
I agree. I think it's good because I put up a post not so long ago, and it was about the BBC, and I think someone done a big campaign where they posted loads of stickers across BBC in Birmingham, in a city in the UK, and they plastered it with all things like they lied about Iraq, they lied about the vaccines, they lied about all of this sort of stuff. And it was just plastered all across the windows of the BBC. And I tweeted it and got a retweet from someone who Musk follows. And he saw it and actually commented saying, interesting. And there was a particular scandal called the Midazolam scandal in the UK. And it's all to do with the care homes and things like that. I'm not sure how spicy we can get into topics like that.
You can. Go ahead. You can.
Okay, cool. So the Midazolam thing is all to do with the care homes. And there's a health secretary at the time during the pandemic called Matt Hancock, who introduced or bought more than normal this particular drug, this sedation drug for old people in care homes. And there's evidence to suggest that this drug, of course, really harmed a lot of people. That's the guy. And people were posting about the Midazolam scandal. And for Elon to say interesting, beamed a ray of light onto this story, and that was really good.
You got to look at the economic state of this also. You guys are just trying to put a skew on this thing. Everybody is going towards the grave. So if there's a medicine that could potentially help the people going towards the grave, you can make a lot of money off that.
Lewis, nice to meet you. I gotta go. Bye.
Bye, Hiller. Thank you. Brother.
Just look at it from the standpoint of cash. And think about the AIDS medication. Don't you remember that was bought by a private person? And as soon as they brought it, they increased the price of it massively. So if you can all of a sudden get a massive population of people dependent on something, then all of a sudden you control the price of it. And then all of a sudden you control the
He's a government official, though, is the point. He's a government official.
Doesn't matter, dude. We all know that government officials have a lot of private businesses on the side that they make a ton of money off of.
Well, no, this is all to do with skewing the numbers when it comes to COVID, because a lot of these people were registered as a COVID death when really the evidence actually points towards that this drug was overused and actually killed a lot of people. So this isn't about economy. This isn't about money. This is actually about human life. It's not about the amount of money that was spent ordering drugs. It was about the patients who weren't given the proper care. And of course, has been lied to because of the death certificates as well. So there's been a big sort of misjudgment, and we want to say cover up. Basically, that's why we call it a scandal, the Midazolam scandal. I recommend looking into it because it's a story that doesn't get a lot of coverage over here. People are saying it's some sort of conspiracy theory. Like everything these days.
I would say most kind of scandals have an economic relation to them, is what my point was.
Lewis, is it any different than the remdesivir issue that we had in this country?
Is that the care homes in New York? Am I correct?
Well, no, there was a drug remdesivir that was basically, I think it was shutting down people's livers, and they were giving it to them as a cure for the common cold, and basically people were dying, and people were saying, we've even had a guest on the show, Alex Stein, who said they gave it to his mom and killed his mom without even telling him, and then he'd actually requested that they don't give it to her, and they gave it to her, and she died.
Yeah, it's something very similar, very, very similar. There's a guy who I know called Tony. He's trying to bring in something called Antonia's Law, which in care homes in the UK, I believe, I need to be fact checked on this, but care homes in the UK, they don't have security in terms of security cameras to watch over your patients. If they're on like either end of life or if they're just being looked after. And there's a lot of scandals involved with abuse and things like that. So he says that midazolam killed his mother because it was given to her and at an end of life care, and then was registered with abnormalities like a COVID death and things like that. So he's been fighting in the courts to get some justice basically for his mum. And it's all to do with this drug, midazolam. So it's very similar. Very, very similar. And I think that's a very strange coincidence, if I say so myself.
That guy bought so much of stock. Did he buy stock in the company? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
He bought more of the drug to be pushed into the care homes, if that makes sense. Because it's usually used for end of life. And yeah, it's just nuts, dude. It's so bad. But yeah.
Eaton Beaver, and I thought Hiller was just a pretty face. No, or not Hiller. Sorry, Hunter. Yes, Hunter. He has a brain too. Hey, how Lewis? I want to go back to the World Economic Forum. How old are you?
I'm 29 years young.
Do you ever feel that you know too much? Do you ever feel like like it used to be back in the 60s, you know, people did too much acid and they opened too many doors and they couldn't close the doors. But for you it's not even acid. It's just a huge dose of reality. Do you ever feel like that you've seen too much, that you pulled back too much?
Yeah. Do you know what? It was actually 2020 when things just sort of clicked. You know, we saw things like the lockdowns, the mandates, and the unfair treatment of many people in that respect, and civil liberties. And then you start to delve a little bit deeper, and then sort of the journalistic career sort of started, and then I started looking into things. And we all go into rabbit holes. I try and pull myself out of them and try and think rationally for a lot of different types of subjects. But man, like, yeah, I definitely do think that, especially when it comes to the World Economic Forum. All you do is just repeat what they say, and that even scares you. Yes. So let alone what's being said behind closed doors. If you just go on their website and just repeat what they are saying, you know, like the sustainability agenda 2030, all of these sort of things, it's like a roadmap of what they want to do. And when you start to really delve into it and just repeat what they say, you do think, is this right? Am I getting this correct? And it forms a sort of doubt sometimes, because you think, no, this is mental. Like, surely not. They're doing this out in the open. But in answer to what you said, yeah, 100%, man. Like, I do feel like you just know too much, especially
Boy,
at
you should come to the woods with me.
100%, man.
I'm disappearing in the woods, boys. I got to go and get to work, but it was a real pleasure meeting you, Lewis, and Sevan.
Yeah, you too, man.
Great connecting with you again, dude. This was an interesting conversation that I'd like to dive deeper on. I love this kind of shit, but I got to go.
This won't be Lewis's last appearance, I hope, on the show.
Awesome. Take care, Lewis.
Sevan, yeah, you too, man. Take care.
Love you, buddy. Thanks for the morning. Thanks for getting me up at 5 a.m.
Adios, Chief.
Bye. Lewis, what's the famous line that he said? You'll own nothing and you'll love it.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
So that's a play on words where private property, it's the idea of you won't own private property, but you'll be glad that you won't own it because it will be not under your control. Someone else will do that for you. You don't have to take care of that. And you'll be happy because you'll have everything done for you. So it's very reminiscent of some sort of neo-communistic type view of private property ownership, whether that be cars, whether that be houses. Yeah, it's nuts, it's to say the least.
Lewis, I'm assuming you don't have kids?
No, I'd love to be a dad though. I'd love to be a dad. I'd love to get married, but unfortunately, as a journalist, you don't get out much.
Well, you're still young. You have so much time. I didn't have kids till I was 43.
Awesome.
Here's my. How are you so? At 29, I would have been like, "This is cool, Armageddon." but for some reason, you have some sort of morals or values. I'm guessing that have inspired you to stand up against what you're seeing. Why is that? Why do you think that is? You don't. I mean, I have kids. That's the only reason why I give a fuck.
Yeah, I guess my passion for actually wanting to be a dad and wanting to get married and build an empire of myself. I think I just want to strive towards a better environment. And I know that I can't change the world. You know, you can only make small changes with your voice, no matter how big or small your platform is. But I think it's the value of wanting to bring something into this world that will make a better environment and to actually push back on some nonsense. I mean, we talk about wokery or social revolutionaries, what I like to call it. And just trying to find truth, because I believe the truth is non-partisan. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're left or right. You know, you come to a consensus of the truth. It's just how to find a solution is where, of course, it draws the value between left and right. I'm obviously on the right. I'm more conservative values in that sense. But yeah, there was times where, you know, you would sit at your computer and you'd see either a conspiracy theory, quote unquote, or you would see something that's quite Armageddon and you go, that's pretty cool. That's mad. But I think with 2020 happening, for me, everything's moving too quickly and something needs to be done. And I think I just sat there and I thought, you know, I've had a pretty comfortable life. It's time to get uncomfortable. And I believe you should become uncomfortable to be comfortable, if that makes sense. So that's how I kind of view it. And, you know, when I have kids, I just want to be able to pass that down.
Do you train? And that's a little off subject. Do you train?
Like gym?
Yeah, gym, like lift weights or run or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I was up in Derby not so long ago, I was training like twice a week. But now I'm middle of nowhere, so there's no gym around. So I try and go for walks.
Where are you?
A place called Arundel. It sounds like
that's right,
Rivendell.
and that's in the UK.
Yeah.
How did you end up there?
So I grew up in a shithole called Crawley, who a lot of my friends still live there, so I'm not going to bash it too much. But I lived there for a long time, and my parents moved here in sort of out of towns, and it's more sort of villages. So they moved there, and I've moved here just briefly because I was up in Derby, up north, with a previous company. Unfortunately, was let go, but that's all good. But yeah, just ended up here very recently. So yeah.
And you have good internet there.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, you have fucking great internet there. And okay. And I want to pick up. I have some more questions about your personal life, but when I think of this is a very simplistic way of thinking about it, but when I think of the left and the right is I used to be pretty far left. If you see someone fall down, you walk over and you pick them up, right?
Sure.
And then I had kids and I realized that my kid fell down 500 times a day. That was I would walk my child and he would literally, that's not an exaggeration. He would fall 500 times. So he would fall 2 or 3 times a minute when we would walk. Right. And so if we're out for 2 hours and then he comes home and naps, then we were out for another 2 hours, easily get up to 500. And every time if I picked the child up, I got stronger.
Yeah.
And if I just, you know, a little bit of a gross exaggeration here, but if I just turned around and make sure an alligator or a bear didn't get him, or a child molester didn't get him, or a car didn't hit him, I was doing my job. I didn't need to pick him up. My job was to stand security.
Yeah.
Now what I've done is I've given him the opportunity to stand up 500 times a day, and my kid is strong.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool.
Emotionally, intellectually, and physically. And doing 500 burpees a day is a Herculean task. A burpee is when you lay your body prone on the ground and you jump up. To do 500 of those over a 24-hour period would kill most people. But my child did that every single day for the first forever.
That's awesome.
And that and that's what I think the right is. I think the right is that a safe society where people can prosper, and there is a little bit of pushback maybe on natural law, because we're not going to allow, it's not complete survival of the fittest, right?
Sure.
But there is a weak. When I was a kid, you weren't supposed to be a codependent, and the entire left is now codependent. Basically, like they have clean needle. Like there's clean needle programs.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Is this Portland?
All over our country, California,
Yeah.
the whole West Coast. We have people say it's bad to arrest drug users. If you and I were addicted to heroin, wouldn't you want to be arrested? No one wants to be addicted to heroin. Wouldn't you want to be like take?
Of course.
So I see what you say by it's nonpartisan, and I wanna say that, but ideologically, I think the left is something's wrong.
Of course, yeah, something's been wrong for a long time. I used to be growing up
under the guise of niceness, under the guise of
compassion,
benevolence. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's compassion, quote unquote. But really, it's I want my opinion to reign all. Is how I view it. It's oh, don't worry, you should take my view because I'm the compassionate one. We're on the compassionate side. You know, we care about people, when really it's we care about power. And that's different. What was I going to say? It reminds me of because when I was growing up, I studied politics for a bit, and I was actually a communist once upon a time. I believed in the whole Marxist.
God, you're making me so happy. So you've journeyed. Yeah.
I journeyed, man. Yeah, I was a communist. I believed in the whole Marxist theory, redistribution of wealth, all of that absolute nonsense, you know. And then as I grew older, and Brexit happened, of course, it's a bit of a disaster now because you've got people who love Europe, like the EU, trying to make a deal, and it just didn't work. But when Brexit happened, it kind of was like, well, hang on a minute. Why should unelected bureaucrats from other countries dictate what we have to say in terms of law and in terms of lots of other things? And that kind of, it was a switch that sort of went, hang on a minute. The nation state is now in bed with others. And I sort of went, well, hang on a minute, that's wrong. And I questioned things like, well, how come we've had a conservative majority or party in government for 12, 13 years now straight? They've been awful. They're not conservatives by my book. They're not conservative.
You mean currently in the UK? It's wow.
Yeah, in
wow,
England.
You guys are acting like fucking complete idiots over there, like we are. I had no idea that you had that many that conservatives were supposed to be in charge.
Yeah, it's nuts. And
they're lying to you. They're not conservative.
Yeah, they're not
sure.
at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Because they all parrot to the same World Economic Forum UN playbook. But I questioned, because I said, well, how come? Why are these people, these conservatives, I'm being told, so evil and so horrible, and that they hate and they don't have compassion and they don't care for anyone or society? They hate the poor. They hate everyone. How come they keep getting elected every year? And they've had a sustainable, they won't now, but a sustainable election. What am I trying to say? Election record for so long. I don't get how. So why are they so evil yet the public still vote them in? I'd never really understood it. And then that was another light bulb moment. It was like, well, maybe let me just look into their ideas. And then you look into family values, you look at, border control, you look at immigration, you look at all these types of things, the nanny state and how that needs to be sort of repelled more, and that you should focus more on community in terms of like values and things like that. And then I later on in life, religion has sort of come into my life, which is really strange. I never thought that would happen, but that's another story. But yeah, I kind of it was my sort of red pill moment, and it was kind of like, okay, well, maybe I was wrong. And that's the sort of thing that happens, because people, people have a lot of egos these days, especially millennials, right? Millennials are very egotistical. They're very like, well, I know because I was born into technology. I know how it all works. So I want to go out and change the world and create or destroy things. When really it's all about putting ego down and saying, maybe I was wrong. And
you were Marxist because of benevolence. You thought it was a way that everyone could have what they needed in order to live a happy life. Pick up your cabbage at the market. Everyone lives in a nice little home, and
you get sold this weird lie that the Soviet era and things like that was all happy daisies, and you didn't know about the gulags, and you thought that everyone was happy, and they had everything, and the state just done everything for you, and that the individual can just focus on themselves. They didn't have to worry. When we know it's way more than that, and I actually look back and I think, I'd bully you now. From me now, looking back, I'd be like, fuck, I'm going to take the piss out of you, man. Like, you do not know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, you're a misguided 17, 18-year-old who thinks that they can go out and just change the world with just by your crazy theory that is supposedly hasn't been tried yet properly.
Why? So why are they getting reelected? Why is the governor of California get reelected when he shut down more small businesses, when he done more economic harm and shut down more small businesses than ever imaginable? I think it's like the worst disaster since the earthquake in 1908. The largest immigration of people fleeing from the state since the earthquake of like 1906 or whatever that was in San Francisco. Drug addicts have completely taken over and ruined cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles. Crime's at an all-time high. Taxes are the highest that they are anywhere in the United States, I think, or second in income and sales. How is Gavin Newsom getting reelected, or how are your guys getting reelected if they're so bad? What is going on?
Do you know what's really strange is things that you listed there are very similar to what's happening here, which I find very, very interesting.
Our criminals are also being held up as heroes, by the way. So now when groups of thugs are going into a store and stealing all the stuff, the news is reporting it that they're blaming like other things instead of making they didn't have food, or they didn't have this, or they were repressed because of the color of their skin, or there's always some excuse now that the news is presenting that justifies what they're doing. It's bizarre. I don't know what's going on.
I saw as well, is it that criminals in a certain state, I'm not sure where, that they can rob like a place. These criminals can rob like anywhere, and then they won't be penalized for it. The police won't.
Yes.
And there's something written in.
Yes, I think in California it's like up to $950 that basically they can't hold you. And by the way, that will put a small business out, right? If you go in and just stole $950 from a mom and pop toy store or bakery, they're done. And
unbelievable.
All of us know those. All of us are seeing that happen. Just recently at a Lululemon in the United States, guys came in and robbed the place. And the employees walked up to him with a cell phone camera and said, "You need to get out of here." And Lululemon fired those two employees because they have a policy that's not to stand up to criminals. Yeah. And the CEO said, "Yeah, I agree. We did the right thing by firing those guys."
Do you know what? I look at videos. I look at things that happen. It must suck to be a cop over in the US as well. Like with all of that sort of stuff. I know we talk about the police, and the police over here are a different ball game in terms of corruption and two-tier systems and things like that. But gosh, that must suck being a cop over there and seeing it all just turn to chaos in
they're hated. They're hated here. So think the police in our country do 365 million stops in a year, right? Imagine that. And we have a social contract with them that's supposed to have them protect us. Yeah. And they're just people, but they're held to this standard that's like nowhere near. Instead of looking at where you never hear anyone say, where's society falling short that we're not supporting our police officers. It's always blame the cops, blame the cops, blame the cops. It's crazy. Yeah. And so basically what ended up happening, I don't know if you know this, but what ended up happening is we had a defund the police movement come We had a huge Black Lives Matter movement. And then at the end of the day, of course, we all know who suffered. A black on black murder increased in the United States by 34%. And anyone who knows any police officers knows exactly why, because police officers stopped engaging black people. They just stopped. Right. And the stories are, you know, they see a black person wielding a gun or wielding a knife in public, and they get called to it, and they just turn around and go the other way.
Right.
And it's like, remember, though, those are white liberals supporting those laws.
Sure.
Supporting that behavior.
Sure. I remember.
It's absolutely crazy.
And
I don't want you to forget why are those people getting reelected? I think you were going to tell me, why are those people getting reelected?
Do you know what? I think. Do you know what? There's different ways you could approach it. The logical way would be they have an extremely good PR and marketing department, like a really fucking good one, because remember, politicians are so good at A, lying, and B, being able to twist something to make it so that you can depend on them, you can depend on their vote, or you can depend that they will fix your problems, when really, say 9.5 times out of 10, really it's either yourself or a community or yourselves within a community that can fix certain problems, right? But it's the dependence, right? It's the dependence on the person. So logically, I would say that it would be a very strong, they all have 10 out of 10 marketing and PR campaigns to really get the public to keep voting for them. However, the thing is now is, especially in the UK, we have the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. They both pledge allegiance to this Agenda 2030 commitment of, banning diesel and petrol cars, new sales by 2030, things like that. To really bring in this net zero agenda. And it's all ties in with the UN, the World Economic Forum, this and that. So there's actually not too much of a difference between the two. So now it's gotten to the point where actually there's only tiny social differences between these two parties. And it feels like you're in a two-party state. So why these people keep getting elected is really boils down to, because there's probably going to be someone behind them ready to step in and just carry on these silly policies, right? Doesn't matter what side. And that's it. United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda. This, I don't know if you've seen much of this, but this is
I'm
everywhere.
kind of scared to look at this. This is real. This is real.
This is real. Everyone, a sustainable development goal. If you type in World Economic Forum Agenda 2030.
It says in focus, sustainable development goal 5, achieving gender equality, but there's no such thing as gender.
There's no such thing.
It's just part of people's imagination. Does it mean achieving sex equality?
Yeah,
and how are we supposed to empower women and girls? Oh, this is crazy. Am I on the wrong one? Am I?
There's a couple of these, but this is UN Women, so yeah, you're on the right track. It's United Nations, so it's all intertwined. If you typed in 2030 agenda and then World Economic Forum, it will give you, transforming our world, the 2030 agenda for sustainability. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, planet prosperity seeks to strengthen universal peace in larger freedom. We recognize that eradicating poverty in all of its forms and dimensions, including extreme poverty, is the greatest global challenge. But they've gone through the UN plans in order to introduce certain things such as net zero, which is, in my view, a total scam, absolute scam. And it's actually going to bring more hardship on
what is net zero?
The lower class. Net zero is an initiative to reach a type of carbon goal where they want to cut carbon emissions by a certain percentage by this date, 2030. So one of the most radical things that this government here has introduced when Boris was in power was he wants to ban petrol and diesel cars by the year 2030, any new models, and it's the most radical plan I've ever seen. So basically, yeah.
And then basically, what do you do? So then every car would run on electricity. So if there was a natural disaster and your car wasn't charged, you couldn't get away. Or if they wanted to turn off your cars, they could turn your cars off.
Pretty much, yeah. All in the name of climate change, basically, is the gist of it.
I want to show you guys one more thing for those of you just checking in. The name of the movie is Introducing the Reset, the Great Reset docuseries, episode 1. Episode 2 is also out. Along the line, in this first 30-minute piece, you will see and hear Leonardo DiCaprio. By the way, this is Louis Brackpool's movie series. You will see Leonardo DiCaprio say that he wants to ban anyone running for office who disagrees with global warming or climate change science. He wants to ban those people from running for office. This is fucking nuts. This is like, this is straight Hitler shit.
Yeah. And do you know what? Do you know who else said that or said something similar? And I was very surprised when I saw the clip. And I recommend you watching the clip and deciphering it for yourselves. But this is what I took from it. Robert F. Kennedy said not so long ago, I think a few years ago, that any politician who denies global warming, there should be a punishment for them. Now, I don't know what his views are now. I'm really keen. I'd love to interview him. I'd love to have a chat with him and ask him, what are your views now on that? Because that is very radical. I mean, the science is apparently settled when it comes to this subject, right? Apparently, but it's not.
Did you? Well, it's settled, just not in the way that they think it is. Did you ever see the movie that Michael Moore made and it got banned on YouTube? It was only up for like a week. He was the executive producer on it, and it exposed. It's crazy because it's like goes against everything that you think he stands for. It basically showed that the United States' clean energy plan that we're currently on was just importing basically the entire Amazon forest and bringing it up here and burning it. That's what we call reusable enery. And Robert F. Kennedy was in huge support of that. Did you ever see that documentary? YouTube pulled it down.
Wow.
Oh,
I know. I've never seen that.
Crazy, dude. Yeah, Robert F. Kennedy is he's confused when it comes to environmentalism for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's from what I've seen. But then great on other points. So it's like, I don't understand. Maybe he's that much of an individual. He's very passionate on one and not the other and hasn't thought it through. But I don't know. But I saw the clip of RFK saying that and I was like, wow, that's nuts.
Here's the post from Lewis's Instagram. Climate change conspiracy theorist Greta. I love the way you say that. Climate change conspiracy theorist Greta Thunberg has deleted a 2018 tweet where she said that humanity would be wiped out if the planet continues to use fossil fuels for the next 5 years. Because now it's 2023 and we're not wiped out. So she had to pull that down. Is that?
It's so funny. Yeah.
Am I? And here's the top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. Well, maybe what she's saying in her defense is that if we don't stop in the next 5 years, we're going to be wiped out like in 500 years. Like we crossed over some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Precipice or something, some sort of.
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, people like Greta, who have sold their soul to the climate god,
or her parents sold her soul.
Her Antifa parents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think
they're Antifa parents. Oh,
I've heard so. Activist parents, far left activist parents. But the problem is fear sells, and fear is the best form of control. If you can get someone to fear a particular product or something or an idea, you have far more capabilities to either control them or to change their way of thinking. And this is why, I don't know if you've seen like these huge climate conspiracy theorists in the UK, Just Stop Oil, where they sit in the roads and they glue themselves to the roads to stop people.
I like it when I
that?
see the cops yank them up and their hands rip off the ground. I love that shit. Yeah.
So their whole campaign is all built on fear, and I have a bit of sympathy for them because they've been so misled, and a lot of them are students, right? And it reminds me of me when I was like 17, 18, and I believed all this shit. And it's fear. It's all done on fear, and fear is extremely profitable. That's why the climate narrative is so prominent now, because they've realized the fear can sell, and it has been doing it since the 70s, right? I mean, all sorts of crazy shit has been thrown out since the 70s, that we're all going to die in the next 5 years because we're either going to melt from a big ball of fire, or we're going to freeze, or the ocean's going to come up and rise, and we're all going to drown. So it's one of them, but they haven't decided which one it is yet. But that's what's interesting, is it's the fear factor of it. And
can you give me an example? Is that would you suggest that's what the whole flu was? That it was just a money making from the beginning? Because I had a friend.
Look at COVID.
Yeah, I had a friend, an executive who worked over at one of the big tech firms, probably top 5 biggest in the world, over the hill, and they said, "Hey, I believe this in the beginning, and now I see this is a perfect product launch. This is the most perfect product launch ever done."
Yeah,
I was like, "Wow."
I mean, have you seen?
So you think that was all? That was all a conscious sentient being or beings organized that as a money making scheme?
I think they've seen something in data, right? They've seen something in data, and they've taken it out of context, and they've gone, "Hang on a minute, we can actually capitalize on this to the point of we can make a shit ton of money, right? And we can increase corporate profits to a point where people will completely believe the lies being thrown, right?" And I think when you look at the data, for example,
you think that they knew it was going to be so successful?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, let me ask you this too. Yeah. The World Trade Center. Some people will say that was some sort of plan, right? That the whole narrative wasn't what we like. My narrative is that there was a guy named Osama bin Laden. He was mad at the United States, and he organized a bunch of Saudis, and they got in planes to like say "fuck you" to the United States and attacked us. And then there's other people say, no, it's the CIA and FBI. Is the reason why I can't comprehend that is because I would never do that? Like, how come I can't?
Yes, spot on, exactly that.
Okay.
That's how they get you.
And so then if you tell me that, I'm like, "Fuck you, Lewis, you're a wackadoodle conspiracy theory."
Yeah,
because I can't comprehend.
Yeah, you can't comprehend it.
Why, like, I don't believe in evil either, but so many of my friends do believe in evil. They say that there is evil in the world, and it's because I can't comprehend it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know why? Do you know why the term conspiracy theory was created?
I had heard, but tell me. Tell me.
So during the JFK assassination, people started to clock on, basically, and we now know that it was MK Ultra, and it was done by the CIA to get rid of JFK. We know that now. That was like the OG conspiracy theory. But the CIA invented the term conspiracy theory to make people look mad, to make people turn around and say, "Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. He's mad." And that's the reason why it's been so effective over the years. And that's why
it's bullying. It's supposed to keep me in my box so that I won't be
submission.
Like,
it's
maybe the Earth is
tactic.
flat. Oh, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Pretty much, right? Personally, I don't believe flat Earth personally. But,
me neither.
Yeah, but it's a very, very effective tactic in order to shut down conversation and to stop asking questions. And that's the key point. People don't like questions being asked, especially people like the FBI, the CIA, the governments all around the world, the UN, Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, all of these people, Club of Rome, you could go on. They don't like questions being asked. And that's the point of it, right? So you saw this during 2020, during the pandemic, is where when people started to realize, hang on a minute, lockdowns, it's not going to work. This is actually killing more than it actually is saving. So we need to speak about this. No, you're all conspiracy theorists. You believe that 5G is in the vaccine, and X, Y, and Z, and you're just a conspiracy theorist. And that's why you saw this huge media campaign using that term, conspiracy theorist, to shut down any debate, any questions raised. And that's why people in broadcasting and television hardly have, probably 9.9 times out of 10, never have someone that really can challenge the narrative on those sorts of subjects, because for example, it's like an antidote to their fear campaign almost, because it makes people go, well, hang on a minute, you lied to me. What more have you lied to me? Trump is another great example with the Charlottesville thing, and saying that he's this racist, horrible, rapist dude. And
Right.
And then over the years, it just gets proved wrong, and he gets vindicated for all this sort of crazy stuff. And then you go, well, hang on a minute. Well, what else have I been lied to? And that's when you realize, that's like when the wall is uncovered from your eyes. And it goes back to what we were talking earlier about knowing too much.
It's funny you say that, because that was one of my moments too. I was at one of my friends said, hey, Trump's racist, and I go, what did he say? And he goes, he said he would rather have a Jewish accountant than a black accountant. And I'm like, I don't think that's racist.
Right.
Is it racist to say I'd rather have a black guy on the basketball team than a Jewish guy on my basketball team if we're playing for the world championships? I don't know if that's racist. Would you rather have your orthopedic surgeon be an Asian guy, or I don't pick an Arab? I'm going with the Asian dude. It's just kind of discrimination based on fat. Would you pet a snake with a big jaw, or the one with the narrow jaw? The narrow jaw. I just know the one with the big jaw has the fangs in there.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with just playing the odds. Obviously, you could make just as many fucking great orthopedic surgeons who are black. Patterns. Yeah. Cultural. Yeah. Pattern. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
I've not heard that. I've not heard of that one. The Trump, that allegation of Trump. I've never heard that one.
Yeah. It was I didn't actually see that, but it was, anyway, I don't care. I don't care if someone wants to pick a Jewish guy accountant over a black guy. It doesn't matter. Like, I think you could ask 1,000 black people, would you rather pick a Jewish guy as your accountant or a black? Hey, the Black Panthers, all their attorneys were Jews and Armenians. I mean, it's notorious. Everyone used Jews and Armenians for all their accounting and lawyering shit anyway.
Right.
It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so there were some people at my house, and they were talking about what a racist piece of shit Trump is, and I went and looked online to see what they were talking about, and it was when people were coming over the border, he said Mexico's not sending us any of their good people, they're sending us over their rapists, and then someone conflated that to he's saying that they're all Mexicans are rapists.
Right.
These moments were like huge for me. I do want to play this. This is from your docu series. Are you still, now that you're not with Rebel News, are you going to continue to make a part 3?
Oh, do you know what? When I left, I spoke to the director of this series as well, Kian, who helped do all the edit. Where he done all the editing. He was a fantastic guy, fantastic job on it. I do want to do a part 3, but I don't know. What's going on there. There needs to be
10 parts, dude. There needs to be 10 parts.
We were planning on doing, like, we were going to go through each individual subcategory, like economy, environmentalism.
Technology is number 2.
Technology.
Yeah, yep.
That's it. We were going to go through all ones like that. So I might give him a call and say, look, can we just do this, because it's fun.
It's so clean, and it's not melodramatic. It's just so clean. It's so like it's so palatable. But there's something in here. I don't know if I can.
And senior advisor.
Okay, so here you show Ivanka Trump with the WEF, World Economic Forum. Now, some of these people that you point out who are part of the Economic Forum, couldn't it just be like, I could also say that I saw you there, Lewis? And then you'd have to explain, well, I was there as a reporter trying to interview. Couldn't she just say that, like, hey, someone offered her a free jet trip there and she just went there?
Yeah, it's until you see she does a lot of speeches as well, and that she talks a lot about oh gosh, what is it? She her little thing is, it's about equality within something. But yeah, it's very odd. So that's the strange question that I had at the time, because I was a big Trump fan. I'm kind of not sure anymore. I'm still sort of on the fence with Trump. But back then, when I saw that, I thought, okay, questions need to be asked now. I need to put down the politics, let go of the party politics stuff, and just look into it and see. But it seems to be, you got to remember, Ivanka is her own woman. She's her own person. So just because she's the daughter of someone doesn't necessarily mean that they're all part of the same game, if that makes sense. They're their own individuals. And that's what I thought.
Well, what's interesting that you say that is this. I want to the clip. I really want to show everyone.
Of the United States, Donald Trump.
Is this? So basically, in this video, this is one of the only good guys in the video. Am I understanding this right? He went to the World Economic Forum and then just shit on them, spit in their face.
Pretty much, yeah. I saw there was videos that were coming out of Trump with Klaus Schwab, and I think he was doing this showmanship thing. We know what Trump's like. He does this showmanship thing.
Yeah, Manny says it here. He's not a racist. He's just a dipshit. Manny, be nice. Be nice.
I think he does this showmanship, right? We know what Trump's like. He does this showmanship where he tries to be the best guy in the room. And, he's up against like people like Klaus Schwab and all these like big conglomerate elitists. And he's just going in and just pretending well, not I say pretending. He's just being the showmanship kind of guy. I'm the best guy in the room. So he's like, yeah. So he does his spiel where he goes, yeah, I like what you guys are doing here, blah, blah. And then he goes and makes this speech, which was so unexpected, really. But he basically said the prophets of doom who push all this climate alarmism and this radical socialism, we completely reject that. And that upset them quite a lot.
Excuse me, I have to deal with someone in the Blaine Anderson. Is this a riff raff episode? No, that's tomorrow when your mom's on. Okay. I'm gonna play this. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for it, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this from the Louis Brackpool's docu-series with Rebel News. Okay, here we go. So this is Trump speaking at the World Economic Forum. These are people who want to take over the world and want all the world leaders to step in line. And this is what Trump says when he's there.
They predicted an overpopulation crisis in the 1960s, mass starvation in the 70s, and an end of oil in the 1990s. These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy.
You think he's looking right at Klaus Schwab when he says that? He turns and he's like, we will never.
Like really down the barrel.
Yeah. Because look, because he shifts his head, right?
Transform and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy, wreck our country, or eradicate our liberty.
Dan Crenshaw, congressman from Texas.
Oh man, you really fucked me up with some of the names you're dropping over there. You really fucking. It's hard. It's hard.
It's difficult. It's hard, and dude. That's what's important.
It's hard to process, dude.
It is, yeah, 100%. And
Tulsi Gabbard, you asshole, Lewis.
Yeah, I know, Tulsi Gabbard.
Why?
Here's
Why
the
do you
thing.
have to do her like that? Couldn't you just be like, okay, I'm gonna overlook Tulsi? Why?
Well, here's
Tulsi?
the thing.
Great body, smart as fuck, beautiful hair, eloquent speaker.
Yeah. Here's the thing. With Tulsi, I'm still not sure where to sit, because there's talk that she's done either talks there or she's gone there and done a lot of speeches and shaken hands with these guys. What I'm trying to do now, so this was released I think about a year ago now, something like that. Looking back, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm not 100% sure that because what you find on the World Economic Forum website is they put up people's names. They just put up so many people's names, and then actually when people are challenged, because it went through a period now where people were actually going, oh, he's on the website or she's on the website, she's part of this, and people were actually trying to challenge these people. Some of them, most of them didn't reply, but some of them went, well, hang on a minute, no, I actually haven't been there yet. Or not before. And so they would actually ask them to take them down from the website. I'm not sure if Tulsi Gabbard is still up on the website. Okay. You might have to double check. But I'm not sure. I think Tulsi Gabbard might be actually okay. But it was a shock to see that she was plastered on the website and that she had done stuff there. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna Google.
I'm gonna Google Tulsi WEF and see what comes up. Tulsi Gabbard WEF. It's funny. The first thing that pops up is she offers her full support for Vice President Joe Biden.
Oh, really?
From PBS, yeah.
Oh no. That's terrible.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Wow, this is interesting. Here's another guy who flipped the script. Did you know that? This guy, Dr. Drew, he got red pilled in the last 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I've not heard of Dr. Drew.
Super popular in the United States with my generation, the MTV music television generation. Cool. He had a show when we were all kids called Love Lines with Adam Carolla, the guy who made the movie No Safe Spaces. Have you seen that?
I've heard of that. You
have to see that, Lewis.
Yeah.
You have to link me have to see that. Okay. Anyway, so here he is with Tulsi, and it says, after her photo appeared on the World Economic Forum website, Tulsi Gabbard became a target of conspiracy theories about her connection to the globalist organization, but the real story goes much deeper. Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't seen this. I actually haven't seen this.
Here's a 10-minute clip. I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text this to you now. I mean, you can talk about it later.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
You have a long phone number.
I do.
You know who else I had on the show? I had Asim Malhotra on the show. He's one of your fellow countrymen.
Oh yeah. Asim.
And you know he got red pilled when his dad died from the injection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he didn't like that. He didn't like the injection killing his dad.
No, of course, no.
It's fucking crazy.
It's just crazy, isn't it? It's a crazy world. But yeah, I think that's why I thought with Tulsi. Looking back, we found that a lot of people were just being put on their website. But at the time, the context of the time was actually, it looks to me like they're part of this because they are on their website. Surely you have to get permission and things like that to have them do a biog on you and be placed onto the World Economic Forum's website. But there's been a lot of people that have been calling up and saying, listen, can you take mine down? Whether that be for optics or whether that be because they genuinely aren't part of them, it's difficult to say. So you have to base it on individual case by case.
I'm Daniel Garrity. MTV was not the boomer generation. The dickhead. I am not the boomer generation. Daniel, you know better. 20 burpees. Hey, so is the World Economic Forum basically one weirdo's idea? It's this guy Klaus Schwab who went to Harvard, who got this idea that he's basically going to bring all the countries under one umbrella and basically going to control everything that people eat and make this utopian society and what they do, and basically make it so no one really has to do anything and everything's automated, and it's just we all walk around just with a sheet. It's like one giant earth cult. Like what are they doing? Because they use words like we've penetrated the Canadian cabinet.
Yeah.
And then they have that guy Noval, speaking of Jews, and I love a Jew, but not this particular one. They have this guy Noval who keeps talking about them. We're the elites, and we have to do X, Y, Z to control. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And why aren't they even hiding this shit? If they're evil, why aren't they like
that? The conspiracy theory term is so it's powerful, very powerful, man. Like you can. Like I said, it was a way to stop criticism and stop questions. So they've managed to turn the whole World Economic Forum narrative or lens into just the giant conspiracy theory, even though it's just repeating what they say.
Explain that to me. I'm not following. Explain that to me.
So the term conspiracy theory, like we mentioned earlier, it's a way to stop criticism and stifle questioning.
It's like me calling you racist. Oh, that was racist what you just said, Lewis. It's in weaponized
conspiracy theory.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so with the World Economic Forum, all you're doing, all the information that we get about the World Economic Forum is just repeating what they say. But the media and that organization have been so powerful by using this term conspiracy theory to stifle any questions and any debates about the topic. So now even if you touch the topic, they'll think that you're some sort of conspiracy theorist. And oh, that's a good comment. They don't have to hide it because it's so extreme that the average person finds it completely unbelievable. Yeah, maybe it's something to do in people's brains. They see something that you can't really comprehend and it just doesn't filter in. Yeah, could be that. But the conspiracy theory term has been used widely for so long now that it's desensitized the questions. That's why you saw so much misinformation and mistruths by governments and the media for the past 3 years. That's why it's led people to go, well, what else have they lied about? And this organization, the World Economic Forum, the Club of Rome, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, all of these groups, they're now in question because more and more people are starting to go, hang on a minute, there's something going on here.
What are some of the things that the WEF wants to do? They want to own all the land, right? And what about population?
So they believe
are they trying to reduce the
overpopulation. So there is that theory that they look to potentially look at depopulation, and people have put theories together between them wanting to reduce the population and attribute it to other things. The thing is, when you have people like Bill Gates who and these other people who constantly go on about overpopulation, and they've been going on about this since the 70s. They've always talked about how we're overpopulated. We need less people.
I remember as a kid.
Yeah, they'd always talk about that. These same organizations are still talking about it, but now the narrative is all about climate change. And that's what's surprising. It's all to do with now climate change. It's reducing carbon footprint. So when they say, people say that when they want to reduce their carbon footprint, what they don't mean is they don't necessarily mean the cars. They mean you is what people are alluding to.
To get cleaner air, we want to get rid of people. You're not going to be able to have kids so that we can have cleaner air.
Basically, yeah. I think Bill Gates has always talked about. I think he done. What was it he did? He did something in Africa where he spoke about. It's in the documentary. I'm pretty sure. It's just been a while since I've properly processed that. But he spoke a lot about contraception in Africa, and he done a lot of trials in Africa in with things such as contraception. I need to be fact checked on that, so please do, if you can, do that for me. But
I'm peeking through the doc right now.
Good stuff. Their obsession with this overpopulation agenda is quite scary. There's a guy that I mentioned.
It's in episode 2 in the beginning. I remember it now. And you have that graphic of the pill spinning with Bill Gates talking. Yes,
that's it.
I do know.
That's the one.
Yes.
There's another guy in there called Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah, he's scary as fuck. That guy's scary.
Really scary.
Fuck. Yeah,
really scary. And he talks about hacking organisms and hacking within people because it's fusing AI and people together. But he calls people who just play video games, who don't go out and do things, he calls them useless eaters. And there was a podcast where it was a podcast that he went on with quite a well-known, I wish I knew the name, but you can find it easily, where he talks about overpopulation and how he advocates for a reduction. So that basically, means what it says on the tin. I recommend definitely finding that podcast clip because it really does blow people's minds. Because he openly, says about depopulation. And when you have very powerful organizations talking about that sort of thing, that's worrying. That's very, very, very worrying. And alarm bells do ring when you have these very powerful figures openly talking about subjects such as that.
Is it his he did a TED talk?
That's yes, the TED Talk podcast.
The TED interview. Yes. Okay, I see it. He's extremely scary. He openly basically is like, hey, there's two kinds of people. There's the elites, and then there's everyone else who's basically just expendable, and they should hand their lives over and let them be run by the elites. And is she Schwab's right hand man, Klaus Schwab's right hand man?
He's an agenda contributor, is what they call them. So they're like the top sort of guys who, to be fair, I after looking into this quite a lot, I reckon that they're what I call gophers. So they're not the actual. There's. I mean, I can't prove this, so please take this as what you will. I see Klaus and these guys as gophers. So that actually they're the real people that are. I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but pushing the strings or pulling the strings. You won't know their name. You won't know like where they're from. You don't know where they reside. They're a nobody. They basically they almost just don't exist. I know that sounds crazy to think, but they're on a plane where you can't even comprehend like what they look like, what they sound like, anything like that. You just don't know who they are.
Oh, okay, you kind of lost me there. Are you suggesting that they're not human?
No.
Oh,
Not going that far. No.
Okay.
I mean, as in your
people. Okay.
No, not going that far. No, no. I'm talking. You can't comprehend because you can't see. You can't because you don't know who they are.
Right.
Basically, they're behind closed doors, is what I meant. Sorry, I should have clarified that.
Let me poke into that a little bit. Do you come up with that using logic? Like, okay, this and this don't make sense. There must be someone over here doing this to organize all of this. Or do you come up with that because you actually have some data points?
So like I said, I can't prove that.
Right.
I can't prove that, but logically it would make sense to have gophers in such a powerful organization like that. And, you know, the people that run things, it's always the behind the scenes for everything. You look at a company, it's the back end staff who do the work. They are the ones, you know, you've got a content creator, for example,
right.
You've got an editor, you've got a guy who helps maybe write the script or something like that, or along those lines, or unless you write it yourself, which is great. You've got people who do set up the cameras, people who have the knowledge, have the marketing. You know, it's the people within. So that's my way of thinking it. So definitely not lizard people or anything like that. Definitely not that far. But we just won't know who they are. And that's my interpretation of it from what I've been researching and what I've been looking into this organization, because it is strange to have these people so forefront with these ideas that it's almost like you do need gophers in that respect. Do you kind of see what I mean?
Yeah. I think I know what you mean. I'll try to give an example here, real world example that includes what you're talking about, and also proposes this other idea that Magnus is proposing here. So I spent a lot of time in Africa in some pretty bad areas all over the world. I've seen a bunch of famine. And one of the things that you see is in some of these really fucked up areas, you'll see lines of people and they spend their whole day walking 10 miles in each direction with a bucket of water on their head. They're looking for places to get water. They have a baby on their back and they have a giant yellow bucket on their head. And they walk and then finally there'll be these lines and there's water coming from 10 miles away through something that looks like a garden hose. And the line is 5 miles long and people will stay there just a week. Basically, you just stay in line getting water. That's what your life has been reduced to, right? In the middle of these deserts. And for them, what they're trying to do is they're trying to live in a world they like. In reality, it's just like us. They want to live in a world they like, says Magnus, just like Sevan don't want to live in a bad area. Okay. Do you think that what's happening is that these people have so many fucking resources? Whereas like you and I, like me, I'm trying to bring, I'm going to the store and bringing back cucumbers and meat for my kids to eat. But these people are just doing the exact thing I am, but I just can't fathom it because they have a whole different amount of resources and tools to use to get there.
I see it as, I'll tell you what I see it as, man. Like,
because I'm trying to find some way of understanding it besides that just fuck, it's good against evil. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Is going, because this Klaus Schwab guy really does look like some sort of fucking
Bond villain. Yeah,
it's fucking nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah.
Well,
or an Inspector Gadget. I don't know if you had that cartoon, but he's like an Inspector Gadget bad guy. Yeah.
I think, well, we know that if you reach a certain type of wealth, you have everything you need. You have everything you want. So surely you want to go beyond that. Because I don't know what that feels like at all, obviously.
Like the psychological ramifications of being as rich as Elon and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I'm going to Mars.
Yeah, fuck, I'm going to Mars. Oh, buy Twitter. Why not?
Right.
You know, you do things like that. You almost become like, I don't want to say it like this, but like you almost become like a kid again. Because then you're like a kid with loads of money and you just want
eminently
things.
capable. You're eminently capable.
Yeah,
money is energy. Yeah. Okay. Human energy. Okay.
But this organization was started back in the 70s. And so they've been around business people, top business people, companies, enterprises, entrepreneurs, politicians, state legislators from all across the globe, world leaders. You know, they're with and amongst the most powerful people who can really implement policy, change people's behaviors. So that's how I see it. Is they're extremely hyper rich guys and women who it's almost like they're bored.
Right.
As simplistic as it is, but they have the means to gather around a conglomerate of the most powerful people in the world to do what they like, to reshape what they want. One of their things is reinventing the economy to destroy capitalism and start again. You know, they want to completely.
They're open about that.
Change.
They're open about that.
Yeah, completely. They say that capitalism doesn't work. It's a dead end, and they want to reinvent a brand new system. And I think that's why is because they have everything and they have all this power. They feel that they can reorganize the world in how they see fit, and how they see in their perspective is just the right way to look about it. And you know, it's almost like they get to a point where they don't really, unless it's them unless it's like their immediate circle that's being affected, they don't give a shit about me and you. They don't give a shit about, you know, it's all numbers, it's all statistics. Do you see what I mean?
I do. It makes me think of a post you made about Ukraine. Eric Utley, he also said they will use AI to rewrite religion to be more true than the Bible for future generations. I've also said that my biggest concern is that people are so easily manipulatable, and that words are basically sorcery, and that my only concern about the AI is that's what's going to happen. It's going to figure out the algorithm to get people to obey, and it's going to write the next Bible. Did Klaus say that also?
I've not heard that personally. I know that they're very anti-religion, and I know that they want some sort of one world religion. I think I've heard that before, but it's crazy. They're like why are staunch atheists. Staunch atheists, I think, or really staunch.
Yeah, that's not good. We need people with values, I think. Is Klaus on the Epstein list?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. That's a great question. I haven't looked into that. That's a great question. Yeah. But you know what it is? I think because it's a God complex, right? Because they have all this power, this wealth, this ability to control and change. It is like a God complex. And I think Yuval Noah Harari says it in one of his talks, is that we can become gods ourselves, is how he views it. And that's what's scary. That's narcissism on another scale. And yeah, that's basically the crux of it.
Heidi Kroom, the world is
SimCity. I used to play that.
I used to too. I really liked that game.
Yeah, it's good fun.
And I liked it when the cities would get destroyed
from like a natural disaster or like a huge sort of, yeah. Oh gosh.
Tornadoes, fires, all the fun shit you could do. God, there's so many subjects here I want to bring up with you. Let me ask you this just real quick. I want to do Ukraine, but I also want to do this. Aliens. Any thoughts on the alien thing? All of a sudden in the U.S., we're just being bombarded by alien stories. It used
weird.
to be kind of taboo for the mainstream media to talk about it.
Yeah.
And now it's everywhere.
Yeah. Personally, I don't believe in aliens. Personally, I used to. Now I'm very, very,
meaning
very
don't believe
skeptical.
in them, meaning not that you don't believe in them, but you don't think they're here with us.
I don't think that they're here with us. No,
they're not on Earth. They might be somewhere else. No. You're open to the fact
there
that
might
they
be
might
somewhere.
be.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, the idea, you know, what is it Arthur C. Clarke said, you know, the universe is terrifying if there was aliens or if we were alone or something like that. I'm spitballing that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Have you heard of Operation, is it Blue? Gosh, I really should know this. Bluebird, I think it's called. Yeah, I think it's called Operation Bluebird. I think a lot of people like Alex Jones has spoken about it, where it's like this fake alien invasion is sort of like imminent, and that's another narrative that's being pulled.
It was carried out by France's Foreign Intelligence Service in 1956 during the second year of the Algerian War. It backfired. Is this what it is? Idea of set up counter resistant? No, it must be something else.
No.
Operation Blue.
Operation Blue.
I'll put aliens.
Gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I need to remember. It's Blue something.
Project Artichoke?
No.
Operation Blue struggle for legal immigration.
No.
Hey, that's a pretty.
I should know this.
Hey, listen, that's a pretty good name for an operation. You know, Blue Beam. Look, someone in the comments says Operation Blue Beam.
Blue Beam.
Oh
yes.
shit! Did you see?
Yes.
Did you see? Scientific America showed the satellite firing all those blue beams down onto this Hawaii. Did you ever see that?
No.
Yeah, it was China's satellite. Oh fuck, that's some crazy shit, dude.
Wow. No, I've not seen that.
Okay, go ahead. Operation Blue Beam. Okay,
that's the one. That's the one. So I've looked a little bit into that. I think some people have sort of mentioned it recently.
Oh,
and
shit,
I haven't
the
gotten
creating
around.
of Jesus' second coming, an artificial creation of Jesus' second coming.
Yeah, things like that. It's nuts. It's extremely interesting. It's very strange how all of this alien invasion stuff is coming around now. It's very odd. Because a few years ago, you know, sometimes I watch Alex Jones, sometimes I don't. But I think he used to mention things like how that there will be some sort of fake alien invasion. I think there's that meme because he's been vindicated on lots of different stuff.
Right.
And it's like, you are here, and it's like it crosses off all of these different things that have happened, like they're turning the frogs gay and things like that, and they're like writing them off. And then the last one is Blue Beam, and it's like fake alien invasion or something like that. And I need to properly look into it, but I think it's very strange, and we should be skeptical on why they're pushing this narrative out now, and why it's all of a sudden not taboo, like you said, to start talking about all of this. Because that was just like a thing, you know, you'd watch like a strange documentary on a weird channel about, you know, alien abductions, and you'd watch it for entertainment purposes, or
it was like WWE wrestling or WWF wrestling. It's just for
exactly. Or like Fire in the Sky.
Yeah,
like Fire in the Sky, the film. Like, I love that film. It's a great film. But you know, you take that sort of, is it real? Is it not? We don't know. Like, you can't really say, because it's like, you know, it's a film, it's a dramatization. And, you know, it's one of those things, and it's kind of like it was just in film and it was just in like strange documentaries, but now they're really pushing forward with it. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be, you know, I'm always open to being wrong. And that's how you kind of, you know, you have to deal with things such as the internet, because you have to always prepare to be wrong. But I personally, I don't believe it. I'm not going to buy the narrative of an alien invasion or something like that. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I know the subject of it is scary to me. It's a scary subject, but like there's so much talk about it. But like, how come no one? I had a guy on here who's like the U.S. government works with him more about aliens than anyone else. He has the most alien sightings out of anyone, I think, alive on the planet. He can basically summons them at any time. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I did a podcast with him a couple months ago, but he thinks it's God, by the way. He thinks that the aliens are angels, that there's some sort of, that's what, you know, the Bible and those in the experiences he's having are somehow intertwined. But like, just show me a picture. Or just, you know what I mean? Like, but this guy, after I had him on the podcast, Lewis, he said, hey, all you have to do is go outside and look up to the heavens and say, aliens, please show yourself.
Right.
So that night when I left my podcast studio, I walked out there and I looked up at the sky. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, he sounds like he's having you on, mate.
that's when I got scared. I was like, all right, I'm
going to go back inside.
Lewis, what do you have a focus right now? What are you doing? I know you have a YouTube channel. I know your Instagram is very active. What is your plan? What are you doing? What is your?
So I've started a brand new news/media outlet called Grit News.
Okay, I saw that.
Which is exciting. It's only 2 weeks old, so it's a complete baby. I've started it with a good friend of mine who's also been very vocal during the pandemic, and of course beyond. Jake, his name is. That's the one. Grit News. Oh, we've hit 500 followers. Fantastic. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's probably because I followed last night.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, dude. So at the minute, we're just getting out content, but we're building a website. But we believe we want to steer towards documentaries. We want to steer towards interviews with fascinating people. We want to steer towards basically a not insane Vice. Is kind of,
Vice completely lost its way. Wow.
Yeah. So we want to go sort of that direction, but then a bit more newsy. And we just want to challenge the narratives that the mainstream media put out and look beyond the headlines. But for now, it's getting up stories that we believe are important. Whilst we build a website, we're going to get a space, hopefully, and then start doing a weekly, either a podcast or like interview shows, and then we're going to start making documentaries. So we're very ambitious on what we want to do. But yeah, it's a complete startup. So I'm hoping to grow this. It's difficult because obviously there's no money coming in. So we're going to hopefully start something, and hopefully we're going to bring this up and create a little enterprise. But we're very ambitious, and we're feeling very positive about it.
I'm really glad you came on. To be completely frank, I feel like I'm so excited. I feel like it's Christmas time with you. I feel like you're 1,000 presents sitting under the tree, and I didn't ever get settled with you. There's so many. I have all these topics I want to bring up with you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to support. I would love to reach back on in another month or two and have you back on. I'm dying to hear your take on Ukraine also, and just I know you have a lot of thoughts about just the war machine in general that I think would be very valuable for myself to hear.
Awesome, man. No, thank you.
Yeah, you're always welcome here. By the way, always. If you ever want to come on, or you and your partner want to come on, you're always welcome. You are very what's the word? You're a very curious man. You remind me of myself, and you've gone over. You lift up stones and you look underneath them. You're like me as a child when I used to look for reptiles, and you've turned over. You've turned over a lot, and I want to know what you saw. So thank you for coming on, and you're always welcome, brother.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Like it's been a great, like, I don't know how long we've gone on for, but it's been fantastic. The time's just flown by. But yeah, man. And anything I can do to support as well, you just let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
You mentioned about bringing my partner on. I don't actually have a girlfriend just yet. So
no, not that kind of partner. No, sorry.
Oh,
but you can bring on any girls are always welcome. But
sorry, I read that.
I meant the Grit News UK partner. But that is a pitch. If anyone's in the UK and they want a partner who's very busy and won't bother them much, Lewis Brackpool. Look at even two guys who speak the same language even have miscommunication. Hey, I don't ever use that word partner. That's
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grit GRIT News _UK. Thank you, brother Lewis. We shall talk soon. We have each other's phone number. Don't ever hesitate to text me anytime, 24 hours a day. I don't sleep with my phone next to my bed, so you can text me whenever.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, dude. And same to you as well. Thanks again. And to your audience as well for listening.
Awesome.
Cheers.
What about insects? God, there's so many things I want to ask that guy. I was just so excited to have him on. Oh, David, you fucking fled the country, you pussy. Did he think Sevi was calling him gay? Maybe. No, I don't know. I don't know how that translates. What, David? What? Oh, he's triggered. Go ahead, write it. I read your mind. I read you like a postcard. Like a postcard. I said that to my wife one time. I said, I read you like a book. She said, I read you like a postcard. And I didn't like that. All right. All good dudes. Yeah. How about David? Is he a good dude? Nice shirt. I don't know what's up with the new comment look. I don't know what's up with fucking everything. I don't know how to do any of that stuff on the back end. I don't know what happened. You know who else is using the back end, fondling the back end these days is Will Brandstetter brings his two boyfriends on, J.R. Howell and Taylor Self. And so they got their fingers in the cookie jar over here. So some shit's all is different. I don't care. I'm glad you actually took my statement in reality. They're just rich and bored and want a good place. Yeah, I mean, dude, for me, it's just people here. There's no like demons or it's just people. And they're just fucking, that's what happens when you get too much money. It's just like we can't fully comprehend Mal O'Brien. We can't fully comprehend just how when people have that much fucking money. All right. I missed breakfast with the homies. Yeah, there you are, David. I see you. I see you. All right. I have to go potty. That was 3 hours, dude. I got up at 5 to drink 2 shots of espresso, paper street coffee, do a fat ass injection of testosterone from CA hormones. Just joking. I didn't do that. I'm about to make a video though. I'm gonna I do need a nap. I need something. All right. Anything else? I'll see you guys later. I'm trying to organize a semi-final review show with Tyler Watkins, Brian Spinn, John Young, and Mike Halpin. It's fucking hard. I need Sousa to intervene and schedule it for me. I've been trying to schedule it myself. There's no way. Magnus Holmgren for the margarita. Thank you. No margaritas today, though, but thank you. I'll save that. I appreciate it, brother. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, guys. See you guys later. Bye-bye.